And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, New York City already regretting Mamdani. Already. It didn't take long. Now, I don't think all of those who regret him voted for him, but they got him. And now, what do we do? 9.5% increase on property taxes. Good luck to the middle class. Good luck to the homeowners. Good luck to everybody in New York City. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, loves the migrants, loves them with all his heart and soul. But the constituents of Chicago don't necessarily agree with him, especially the black residents. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, James Talarico versus Jasmine Crockett. This is going to be a pretty important story to follow because it's going to display the hypocrisy with the Democratic Party. It's going to pretty much go against all of what they claim to stand for. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Plus, we have nationwide walkouts, protests, whatever you want to call them. You got kids getting hit by cars. Special needs boy got found miles away from the school. These are very dangerous things to do, especially since we got school shooters roaming around the streets. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. Most certainly appreciate y'all. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to you guys for rocking on in yet again. I thank you guys for being here. Shout out to all of you guys from all the different platforms. It's funny how things work. Like YouTube is YouTube, but my Facebook community, shout out to Facebook. I think I gained like 22,000 followers in the month, and it's been like that for about 2 or 3 months. So shout out to you guys on Facebook if you're watching. Shout out to you guys on Instagram. Shout out to you guys from Twitter. Shout out to you guys from wherever you're coming from. I thank you guys for watching. I most certainly appreciate y'all. Thank you to the audio only people as well. I appreciate y'all for listening. Now, we got a lot happening here. I'm seeing quite a few super chats and questions already. If anyone has a question, to all the newcomers, welcome, first of all. But second of all, if anyone has a question, the best way to get my attention is through the super chat, like my guy right here, Apu, did for me. And then at a certain point in the stream, I will read everyone's question and answer them from there. So I can see them in the list. It makes it nice and easy. It doesn't go away. So if you want to pose a question, please super chat. That'd be your best way forward. Now, we got a lot going on here. Shout out to everybody who's waking up to see what's happening from the left. That's what, sometimes you got to go through something like this to really experience it. And I was saying that about Mamdani. Now, I don't know if all of those who reject what Mamdani is attempting to do are, in fact, Mamdani voters. Some of them may be Cuomo voters. Some of them may have voted for somebody else. I don't know. But it's good to have something like that happen so people can see that that side is the problem. They can see just who has their back and who doesn't. Mamdani, the thing about Mamdani, okay, you want to raise property taxes by 9.5%. Not to 9.5%, but by 9.5%. So whatever you're paying right now, add 9.5% on top of that in New York City. Now, this is going to squeeze homeowners. But he says, if we can just tax the rich, then we don't have to tax y'all. See, it's going to be a lot easier to tax the middle class, as it always is, than it is to so-called tax the rich. Because the first thing about this, the rich, so-called rich, are already taxed to death. They're trying to find ways to not pay as many taxes. When you see someone on television say, Elon Musk pays no taxes, Jeff Bezos pays no taxes, these are ridiculous things to say. Now, to a normie, it might make sense because a person on television can prove it a little bit. They say, okay, their federal income tax, whatever. I mean, a normie person will understand federal income tax, a 1040, 1099. They will understand that. But when you get into this big Elon Musk level, Bill Gates level, these super rich elite guys, their whole tax structure, the way they have to pay taxes is totally different. You're talking about they got an army of lawyers to make sure they're compliant. First of all, because it's not just about trying to evade. Ain't no such thing called tax evasion that's legal. If you evade taxes, that's called a crime. You must pay your taxes, but not only are they there to ensure they pay the least amount legally possible, they're also there to make sure they comply. Because there's so many laws, so many rules, so many regulations. When you keep adding stuff on, it's like death by 1,000 cuts. And even the rich person is going to fall under pressure. People think that because you're rich, you have endless pockets. That makes no sense. What if that 9.5% property tax increase would take all of my profit away from a real estate investment? I'm going to just sell and peace out. You know what I'm going to do? Let's say I'm in a place like California, and then they raise up my property taxes to the point where I don't make any money on this investment. Let's say I'm a landlord. I have a property with tenants inside. You raise my taxes by 9.5%. Then you have inflation happening. You got all kind of things going on. There's all kind of rules, regulations. Things keep going up and up and up. I have no choice but to raise rents. And if I can't raise rent, if that's not feasible, I'm going to just sell my property and peace out. And I'll probably sell the property to a rich person who can afford it to just live there rather than renting to tenants who cannot afford to buy it. So all you're going to do is just help them get more money. But people don't see it that way. All they see is, well, they're rich. They should be able to take care of everybody. That's not the way it works. Furthermore, the rich already take care of everybody. The top, 1% pay half of all the taxes. So how much more can you just bleed from these people? There is no more to bleed. So now you want to bleed the middle class, but they don't have anything left to give either. And the people that don't pay that much in taxes, the lower paid in society, what are they going to do? They're trying to be able to get $20 to pay their rent. How are they going to afford to pay you more taxes? It makes no sense. How are they going to afford to pay the higher rent in the place that has been increased because of the property tax increase? You get a property tax increase. All you're going to do as a landlord, property owner, whatever you want to call yourself, is raise the rent on the tenant. So you're going to make the middle class and the not middle class, lower class, whatever you want to call it, you're going to make them suffer. For what? Now, in the case of Mamdani, all you got to do is cut your expenses. I read a stat somewhere that said New York City's spending has increased by 50% since 2013. Now, somebody fact check me on that, but I did read that somewhere. The issue is you need to just reduce your spending. Mamdani says he wants to raise the taxes to pay the budget deficit, and they got funny math. First, they said it was $2.2 billion in fiscal year 2026 and $1.4 billion in FY27. Now they say it's like 5.5. Well, when you account for this and that, funny math, girl math, socialist math. Either way it goes, 12.6 billion, 5.5 billion, you got a problem. You got to be able to pay that tab some kind of way. What I would do is just cut spending, because Zohran wants to have 10 billion more in spending. You want to spend 10 billion more, but you say you have a 12.6, really 5.5 billion. Matter of fact, not even 12.6. Let's just say it's 5.5, a $5.5 billion deficit in the budget. But you want to spend 10 billion more than last year. How about just not spending the 5.5? You can still increase spending. Just don't increase it by the whole 10. Just, the 5.5 you need. You're going to increase spending by 10 and not pay it makes no, I don't understand. You understand? Do I make any sense here? If your budget deficit is lower than the proposed spending increase, why you don't just pay that? Why must it be so high? Also, you could avoid the budget deficit completely if you reduce spending. So I just don't really get it. It makes no sense to me. But that's what's going to happen when you have people like this in office. Now, some say that if Cuomo was there or Eric Adams were there, they will also raise tax. Not necessarily. You could just cut spending. What I think happened is Eric Adams cut spending. because the bill was due like what, 2023, 2024. He just cut spending. Here comes Zohran. Oh, we're going to have free buses and we're going to have free this and free that, much of which cannot happen. But still, he wants to do it. He wants to provide more services, which is going to cost more money. Just provide fewer services. Provide services that actually make sense for the city to function properly rather than things that aren't needed. I saw a bunch of jobs in New York City that don't make any sense, that are big spends from the government. Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Office of this, Office of that, things that don't generate revenue, things that don't help the city at all, things that are just not necessary to spend money on. There needs to be a Doge happening in a place like New York, and not just New York City. I don't want to pick on them, really all over the country. This is why Doge was a good thing, not just because it cleaned up the federal government, but because it acts as a template that others can use. Hey, you got a budget deficit. Well, let's look at the budget and see what can be spent and see what can get cut. See what needs to be spent and see what needs to be cut. Now, some are going to say that's called austerity. Not necessarily. Austerity is like bare bones. Like austerity is like what it looked like in New York City for a while with the garbage on the ground. Okay, that's what it looks like. But obviously, they're not doing that because they're going to spend $10 billion more. You got to get down to a point where it makes sense to function as a city. And you got to make the best use of your money rather than just wasting it on things that have no value at all. Okay, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. So the residents of New York don't like it too much. They don't like it. They're like, nope, you're not going to use us. Nope, nope, nope. Now, for my New York City residents, for my New York State residents, what is your opinion about what Zohran is proposing? There's two choices that he's laid out. There's three choices he has or more, you know, my choice would be just cut spending. But if that's not a choice, if that's not one of three, it's only two. The two choices he said were we have to raise taxes on the wealthy or raise property taxes by 9.5% for all. And what's going to end up happening is it'll be the 9.5% for all. How do you guys feel about that? What's your take on that whole situation that's happening with Zohran in New York City? Hey, you know what? All I got to say is I'm glad I don't live in a place like that. I'm glad I don't live in California. I mean, the taxes, oh my Lord, like you guys are paying so much in taxes. It's ridiculous. Your gas is exorbitantly expensive. Your electricity probably going to be expensive as well because everybody want to have an EV. Or California said, hey, let's let everyone have an electric vehicle. Was there no account? Was the drain on the power grid not taken into account? Okay, we're going to have how many thousands, tens of thousands of new electric vehicles on the actual grid. How much power do they draw? Do we have enough infrastructure to be able to take care of that right now? What if there's a time where everybody in an area fires up their electric vehicle charger at once? It's 9 p.m., 10 p.m., whatever. The people going to bed. They got home from work. Everybody charging their vehicle for the next day. Is that going to cause brownouts, blackouts? I presume it would. Then at the same time, you want to have AI all over the place. Data centers, they consume copious amounts of electricity and fresh water, and they create pollution. This push for green energy is going to cause massive pollution and all kind of things in the air that we don't even know about. Brand new pollutants. Okay, you got carbon from cows farting and stuff like this and internal combustion engine vehicles, but what kind of waste does a data center produce? How about an electric vehicle when it's no longer in service or when it explodes and the fire cannot be put out by water at all because it's a lithium ion battery and it'll burn hot as the sun under the water? I mean, these things are crazy, but hey, that's why I don't have an electric vehicle. Okay, I got two gas guzzlers. Yes, I do. And they're not even gas guzzlers. On my Mustang, I got a V8. Okay, the what's that? The Coyote engine, the same as the F-150, naturally aspirated. I'm getting like 22 to a gallon. In the city, 22 to a gallon. Well, I'm lying about the city. Like 18 in the city, 22 on the highway. I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen some of these 6-cylinders, trucks at least, especially the trucks, the heavier vehicles. I saw like my old Tundra might have got 12 miles to the gallon. I loved it though, but 12 miles, I mean, good grief. So 22 miles to the gallon ain't bad, considering that it's so much easier to fill up my tank, considering it is not going to be dependent upon whether we got power. If the power is out, you can't charge a vehicle. If there's no power and I can't go to the gas station, I still got a jerry can in the garage or somewhere else. I ain't gonna tell you where it is. I still got a jerry can with gas in it, so I could still go from A to P. I'm not going to be stranded and scrambling. So I don't know. Hopefully the technology for these things that they want to have, electric vehicles, AI, hopefully the technology behind these things gets better over time, because right now it's not very good. Jay Wright says gas is $4.50 here in Los Angeles. My. Is that like 87 regular? Really? Hey, I just filled up the other day, $2.24. You live in Tennessee, ABL? I sure do, and I love it. I sure do. You're paying a tax just to live in California. You're paying a luxury tax to live in California. If you're cool with paying a luxury tax, I'm not saying you sent me the super chat or the message. If people are cool with paying a luxury tax, and it's fine, I understand. But if you don't want to pay a luxury tax to live in your area, I would most certainly try to vote a different way. That'd be what I do. Sean B says, I was just in California and the gas was $6. Hey, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Hold on. So Chamber says Jacksonville, Florida, $2.83. See, there we go. Shout out to Jacksonville. Okay. Nachi says $6 Canadian per gallon in Vancouver. Now you get your dollar is worth less than ours, ain't it? Hold on. What's it like? $8? Let me do a CAD to USD conversion. So that's okay. Yeah. So it's about the same as California. It says it's like between 441 and 443. So you guys got left coast prices over there, right? The whole left coast is like that. From what I was able to see, I wonder how much it is in Washington State and Oregon. Because Vancouver, that's on the left coast, ain't it? You're talking about $4.50 US, $6 Canadian. Hawaii says $4.50 average. E85, $10. What is E85? Like, what is that? Y'all gas is different. Here we have 87, 92, 93, or 91. All I ever get is 87, so I don't even know. I'm not fancy like y'all. Y'all be getting 93 every time. Hey, must be nice. Must be nice. Hold on. I better Johnny says 239 in Southwest Missouri. Angela says 272 in Montana. Base Mike says 250 North Carolina. Sean B just paid 220 Tennessee. Same. Oregon 349. So it's not too bad. Is that ethanol for what was that? The H85, whatever that was. That's ethanol. Ew. Like, is that like 100% ethanol? Here they have ethanol blends, but the ethanol blends are cheaper. It's like if you get 10% ethanol, you get like 10 cents off. I always just get the regular 87 regular, no extra stuff. Yeah, I don't really do none of that extra nonsense. Marta Allen says, every year I'm in California. I had to drive to another town to save on gas. $2.73 for a mid-grade. Wow. Yeah. Hey, you guys, I wish that you guys can be free from the tyranny of the crazy taxes over there. I really wish you could. Crazy prices for everything. It's a mess. Okay, it's a mess. But yeah, now shout out to the Chicago Mayor, Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson, bro, we're going to get into you. The major cities, at least Chicago and New York. I'm not quite sure about Los Angeles. I'm sure that LA got bigger fish. LA has problems all the way around. They got problems all the way around with the way that their city operates. But in Chicago, they got an issue with the migrants, and they got to pay a tab, just the same thing as New York. They got to pay a tab. And the mayor, Brandon Johnson, is like going around talking about how great the migrants are. Meanwhile, the residents are left with the tab, and they're like, what's this? They get in this big tax bill with no benefit to them. All that their big tax bill did was benefit these migrants. It's all that it did. It helped them to get on their feet. It helped them to get a big bag of money, but it didn't do anything for the regular, everyday people of Chicago, the citizens of Chicago. I played the video. I think I put out a short or something. I don't know what it was. It might have just been, I think it was a full video. where I showed the girl talking. It was a full video. I showed the girl talking, saying that the regular Chicago residents are struggling to get $100 on their link card, the benefits card. Meanwhile, the migrants, the Venezuelans, many of them are criminals because they got ankle monitors on their ankle while getting the benefits. They're getting like $3,000 or $4,000. I mean, you just sitting there like, really? Is that what I'm paying for? I'm working for this. Now, if I'm working, I'm paying taxes, even if it's a little bit. I don't want 1 red cent of my tax money to go to illegal aliens, to go to migrants. I don't want that. If they are supposed to be helpful to the economy, why are we paying for them? Why are we paying billions of dollars for these people? Remember a study I cited, I think it might have been from 23 or 24. It was a study I cited that stated every year, United States taxpayers, U.S. taxpayers pay $450 billion with the B, $450 billion per year on the migrants. $450 billion. But I keep getting told that the migrants are a net positive, that they're a benefit, that they help us. I can't tell. We spent almost a half trillion on these people for each year that the migrant crisis was happening. So, I mean, look at it. So, like, okay, if we spent almost $500 billion in 1 year, how much over 4 years? How much over 10 years? And then we're talking about the debt. It's like, well, that ain't helping, spending trillions on these people. That's not going to help. And then the continued things are going to need over years because they're going to school. They don't speak no English. Who's going to teach them? They got a variety of languages. It ain't just Spanish. You get people coming in speaking Russian, Chinese, all of that. I spoke to a teacher who says that there are 6 languages being spoken in her classroom. 6 languages. How are you going to learn like that? There's confusion happening. People are speaking to each other in their own language, and you don't know what's happening. There was a video I might have shown where it was a lady that got fired, a school bus driver that got in trouble. The nicest lady you could think of, because she just made a request that nobody picking the penny on the bus because she can't control the bus. She can't understand what's happening, and they could be trying to get into a fight or setting something up. She has no way to be able to intervene with these things as they're happening and stop it. So the bus is out of control, and she got fired for saying something, but it's the truth. How are you going to be able to prevent things from getting out of control on a school bus with children if you can't understand them? And they're not speaking the language that you speak. And what if you're in the classroom and you got 6 languages? Somebody got some kind of random language. You might have one kid with a random language. It's like, what is that? I don't hear no Latin tones. I don't hear no Chinese. I don't hear nothing. What are you speaking? Okay, this Icelandic or something crazy like this. It's like, look, okay, I might know a little bit of Spanish, enough to communicate, a little bit of French. You know, some things are kind of easy to pick up on, some of the European stuff. Some of them, like Turkish, not Turkish, Finnish, I don't know what language that is. The Suomi, I have no idea what that is. But some of these other things that people speak, you have no idea what's going on. So now you got to get an interpreter. How does that really work? And that's going to be more money that has to be spent. And that's no benefit to you. It helps that migrant be able to come to America, become ingratiated, learn the language, but at what cost? It's going to cost us. The same thing that happened in Springfield, Ohio, where they had the Haitians come in, and shout out to the Haitians, but you understand when you bring people from one place who don't have no language, that the culture is different, you put them in one place, it's going to cause problems. The same thing, if you put a bunch of Americans in a place like Haiti, it's going to be problems. And if you put a bunch of Americans in a place like Haiti, what's going to happen is the people that are around you are going to target you. Because if you come to a really poor place like that, you're automatically a target. And the same thing will happen in America. If you go to a poor place in America as a person that has some money or as seen as rich, it's going to be problems. I remember, I got a quick story. I told it before, but I'm going to tell it again because why not? And shout out to the new viewers. I remember a story from Norfolk, Virginia. If you know, you know. You got neighborhoods that are kind of close to each other that are different. And I think things are much calmer than they were back in the day. Because back in my day in the 90s, it was, I think now it's not as bad, but At one point, it was bad. Now you got two neighborhoods that are close or like across the street from each other. You got Park Place, which is like a hood type of area, mostly black. And you have Ghent, which is mostly white. And it's, it's older homes that they remodel. It's a home from 1910, but it's been what they call it? Refurbished. You know what I mean? Rehabilitated, renovated from the ground up. They kept the old floors. They kept some of the old charm, and they kept the old neighborhood, right? Now, some of the Ghent people were consistent victims of crime from Park Place people. They went to a city council meeting deep. If I could find that video, I'm gonna play it for you guys. I played it a long time ago. Some of you guys remember. They were at the council meeting deep. I'm talking about there was standing room only at the city council meeting because of the concern of crime happening in Ghent. Because again, you got a neighborhood right across the street, Park Place, that got, is dangerous. One lady said that it was so bad that someone broke into her second floor window into her house. It's like, how you get up there? Would you get a rope? Would you throw like a grappling hook up there? You put a ladder? Like, how'd you get up to second floor? Hey, the crime is real. The crime is all the way real. But sometimes you got to just live it. You got to experience it to be able to understand. And if you don't, then you're just not going to really get it. You're not going to get it at all. Okay. So yeah, shout out to everyone dealing with the migrant crisis, everybody dealing with the crime and whatnot. That was a big reason why I voted for Trump, was to stop the crime, was to stop the invasion into our country from all over the world, all over the whole country. All over the whole world. And it has impacted all parts of the country, not just Texas, New York, Florida, everywhere, small town, big city, whatever. I was watching the video from back in Virginia. It was something that was happening. Oh, it was an ice walkout. And I'm looking at Deep Creek High School. They said it was a walkout from Deep Creek. Now, I'm from that area, Deep Creek right there. That's Chesapeake, Cedar Road. Y'all, you know if you know. I'm looking at the kids. I'm like, that's a bunch of Edgar haircuts. It's like, where this come from? I never seen so many. When I was a kid, I never saw nobody Hispanic at all. Nobody. The most I would see is a white person or maybe a random Asian. Maybe a random Asian. I did not grow up with anybody Hispanic at all. The only Hispanics I met was in high school when I moved away. But even then, it was like Puerto Ricans. It wasn't no Guatemalans or nothing like that. Now, you got 25% Guatemalan in some of these places. Also, here, Chattanooga, you got an area where it's like, downtown mostly black. You got a school called Howard. Howard used to be 100% black. Now it's like 75% black. And in a certain period of time, it's going to be no more blacks at all. The same thing happened in Compton, California. It was once all white. Then it became mostly black. Now mostly Hispanic. That's how it works. And if you keep up with the migrant crisis, the American people who were here already, who have been here for hundreds of years, will be no more. Will be no more. The replacement theory is not just about the white man, although it's been framed that way by some trolls and people like this trying to make it to be a distraction. It won't just impact the white man. It'll impact all Americans. You've been here for a long time. This is your country of origin. You got deep family roots. You're going to be totally just replaced by new people from all over the world. It'd be a whole different thing. And the question would be, will they understand how to shepherd this country in the proper direction? Because if they're going to be the majority born, they will be the majority in rule. Will they understand how to shepherd the country properly, or will they just lead it down the same way their country of origin went? If they couldn't keep their own country up the way it was supposed to, how are they going to keep this country up? At a certain point, you need experienced people that have been here for a long time, who have been American for a long time, to run America. That's just kind of what it is. So nothing against anybody else. If you come in here legally, welcome, welcome. But we cannot be overrun. And any nation would say the same thing. China would never let themselves be overrun with immigrants. Illegal, legal, they would never let that happen, because if that happens, ain't no more China. Their 5,000 year history gone away. Same thing with us. Our 300, 400, 250 year, whatever history gone away. If you let others come in and replace us, The great replacement theory is about Americans, period, regardless of your color, being replaced with everybody, the whole world. Okay. So shout out to you guys again. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And I saw that, Jason, about the Bears. RIP to our Chicago retired police officer friend. I know he is heated right now. Oh, I can't do his voice. Oh, they're moving the Bears. I can't do his voice. RIP to our friend. He's calling all the time. I know he's heated about this. And I'm going to get into that in a minute, but the Chicago Bears may leave Chicago. They may leave Illinois completely and go to Indiana. That's crazy. You see, it's one thing to leave Chicago, like Atlanta. The Braves left Atlanta and went to Cobb. That's like just up the street. It's not that far away. And it made sense to go there because it's like a white area right there. So it made sense to go right there. But they didn't actually leave out of the state of Georgia. They just went like up the street, right up 75, boom, right there in Cobb. But the Bears, they're talking about going all the way to Indiana. The Indiana Bears, I don't really understand. What, the Gary Bears, the South Bend Bears, like, I don't understand. Will they still be the Chicago Bears, although they play in Indiana? That's crazy. The Washington Redskins play in Virginia, but D.C. is just about that big. Indiana is a whole state. D.C. is basically a city, like a district with a small population. But hey, when you have bad policy in your state, what do you think outcome is going to be? The outcome is predictable, and we all know that it is. All right. But before we go any further, shout out to you guys again for watching. I appreciate y'all. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. But also shout out to all my sponsors. You guys are the first sponsor for watching, for doing everything you do, and I appreciate it. But also shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will be in the description box, or just visit patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. We got the hats, we got the t-shirts, the stickers, the hoodies, the mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. For each long form article that I write or produce, I write an article. And in each article, we got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. They be able to find my email address, which is anthonyblogan. Pardon me. It's contact@anthonyblogan.com. Again, my email address is contact@anthonyblogan.com, and it'll be right there on the contact page of the website. You can also find my snail mail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me or not, use a little bit of common sense, okay? Use your head for more than a hat rack, okay? Turn that brain on to 10, not just at 0, but a little bit of common sense. First of all, if you don't email me at my email, again, contact@anthonyblogan.com on the website always. You don't got to remember, if you don't contact me there first and I don't respond to you that way, then it's not me, okay? It's very simple. It's not me. If you're in the comment section, if you're in a DM somewhere on social media and someone claims to be me, they're probably not, and they're probably trying to rob you of all your money. And we don't have time for that in 2026. You know where they're going to come from. It's going to be a guy over in India. No flip-flop, straight bare feet. Okay, straight bare feet. It's going to be him in the office building full of 10,000 other guys who all they do is scam you 24/7. That's their whole job, is to scam. It's like fishing. That's why they call it fishing back in the day with the computer stuff. They're just fishing to see who's going to bite. Who's going to bite on the bait of this scam? Who's going to believe that this guy from the Indian subcontinent is actually ABL? Don't be that guy that bites the bait. Don't be that girl that bites the bait. Or it could also be a guy from Eastern Europe doing the exact same thing. A dude with a wife beater on named Boris, okay, with a Kangol hat and a cigar right here, with a square jaw, with no mustache or beard, just straight up clean face. That could be the guy looking like Ivan Drago, Vladimir Klitschko, one of these guys. Okay, that guy might try to scam you. Please don't fall for it. Or it could be a guy over in Nigeria, hot, 100 degrees, no AC. Okay, the Indian dude, he might have flip-flops on. Maybe he won't. That guy might be trying to scam you, and you already know how it's going to go. Hold on. Hello, this is ABL. Who am I speaking to? Well, give me that number on the back of the card. I told you in the email. This refer to the email I gave you. It's going to have the number on the back of the card. I want all the numbers. No, that's not a scam. I'm telling you something good now. Don't let that be you, please. We don't have time for that in 2026. We don't have time for Adewale or Apu, shout out to Apu in the chat, or Boris to take your money. And I got all the ethnic groups, so don't nobody get offended. Who's going to be the other ethnic group with the Asian? Who are some Asian scammers? I don't know. With like some Chinese, Xi Jinping? I don't know. Anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, let's talk about Brandon Johnson. One of you guys talked about the whole thing about the Bears moving to Indiana, or we're going to get into it. But let's watch this guy, the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, defend the migrants, illegal aliens, really. But let's watch. Oh, the Japanese. Oh, arigato. Oh, I got practice. I got to practice that. I can do the Japanese accent. Oh, I can do the Japanese accent, but I got to get some words I can say that make sense. I can just do the little gibberish and their little, when they get real heated, I can do that, but I gotta have like a real word to say. You know what I mean? It can't just be empty like that, making grunt noises. That ain't really the wave. Anyway, let's check it out. Let's get a little bit of sound that might help. All right.
A migrant has never done anything to disrupt the progress of black people, and I will be doggone if I will allow white supremacy to separate black people from the people of this globe. Because it was black businesses that fed migrants. It was black businesses that provided hope and aspirations for the people who have been marginalized across this globe. But we also have to be very clear that the injustices that we feel within the black community are real. The history of this city of closing black schools, disrupting health clinics from black communities, shutting down housing for black people, firing black people from public sector positions. Understand that our fight for justice is not over. I'm old enough to remember where black people understand our global connection one to another, that what happens in South Africa in Soweto is not that much different than what happens in Cabrini Green on the north side of Chicago, or the favelas in Brazil, that we're all interconnected, that somehow just because a ship made it a little bit further across the coast, I'm not going to allow the constant separation to continue to divide us. Because they've already done that, and it's important that in this moment that we reconnect ourselves. Do you know in 2015, 1 in 10 black folks in this country were foreign born?
Don't do that. See, look, I made a video that said I am Black American, not African American, because it's a different ethnicity. And to all those who may criticize me when I say that, let me just explain it like this. Okay, if you are a Nigerian, what are you? What is your classification? What do you identify as? African? African Nigerian? Is that redundant? I mean, okay, so we're not going to say African. Could I just say broadly Nigerian? I guess I could, but what you going to say? You going to say Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo? That's what you're going to say, right? I've already done my research on this because I knew that I was like basically a Nigerian a long time ago. So I already looked into the ancestry year. I did this when I was in my 20s. So I know this like front and back. I know all your ethnic groups and everything. I know everything about Nigeria. Shout out to my Nigerians. Love y'all. But this is what I'm saying. You Yoruba, Nigerian, African. But we're talking about a Black American. I'm just what? I'm just black. I'm just an American. I don't have the African, Nigerian, Yoruba. I don't have that. Why? Why don't I have that? How long have you been there in Nigeria? Since the beginning of man? Or did you migrate from somewhere else? Just like the South Africans, the Zulu came from Central Africa. They were not always right there. So what are we saying exactly? I don't know. What I'm saying is we are our own ethnic group, Black American. Some don't like when I say Black American. They say, just say American. Well, we're an ethnic group. Okay. If a Nigerian comes here, you could say, I'm a Nigerian. If Senegalese to come here, I'm Senegalese, Ghanaian, I'm Liberian, I'm South African, I'm Tanzanian, I'm from Uganda, and I'm a certain ethnic group from those countries. I can say I'm an American and my ethnic group is Black American. It doesn't sound as romantic as Yoruba, but it's the same exact thing. Do I make sense? Now, let's continue.
If we allow blackness to be separated, liberation is not possible. We have to build a resistance in this country through the lens of black liberation that guarantees equal access to affordable housing. We have to build a movement that ensures that every single child has access to a high quality public education, good paying jobs, access to transportation, healthcare. That is the work that we have to do. That's the way in which we can honor the essence of black history. So God bless you all, and God bless the greatest freaking city in the world, the city of Chicago.
All right, there we go. So that is the Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, Illinois. Empty words, things that make trained seals clap is what he does with his words. I don't like people that speak like that. Just giving out empty platitudes. I don't like stuff like that. If you're going to do a speech, give me some substance. That's what I want. Now, here is Brandon Johnson talking about the potential of the Chicago Bears, moving to Indiana, totally out of Chicago, totally out of Illinois, all the way to Indiana. All right. And RIP to your right ear, because not going to hear anything right now. Let's watch.
Is my face straight? Okay. All right, keep a straight face here.
All right, hold on. Let me just do this. There we go.
Is my face straight? Okay. All right, keep a straight face here. The Bears belong in the city of Chicago. The Chicago Bears belong in the city of Chicago, right? And I've said repeatedly that the door is always open for conversations, Kevin Warren did call me yesterday. We didn't get a chance to connect, and I still firmly believe that their best position is in Chicago, and it's evidence. The evidence is clearly speaking for itself. Is my face straight?
All right, so that's about him talking about the Bears potentially leaving, going to Indiana. Okay, now what do y'all think? Will it happen? And why would they totally just leave the state of Chicago, the state of Illinois, leaving Chicago, leaving Illinois, going on to a different state? Why would they leave? Taxes, money, finances. That's what I would think. Okay, that's what I would think. And if it's just out of Chicago and still in Illinois, that's a positive, but still, why leave? What's going on? All right. So shout out to the Bears. Hey, hopefully you guys in Chicago who enjoy the Bears, hopefully you guys are able to keep them and they are not going to just leave and go to Indiana. But hey, what do? It wouldn't be the first time. Now let's keep this going. This is going to be a northern suburb of Chicago, like far north suburb, where there was an ICE protest walkout and a little boy with special needs was just left. Because who cares about him, right? It's more important to just leave school and act a fool than to take care of your responsibilities. And again, if you got school shooters and predators roaming around, these ICE walkouts aren't really a smart idea. Check it out.
This afternoon.
And for real, RIP to the iPhone users. Let's start from the top.
This afternoon, a mother says she just wants answers after her special needs son is found wandering miles away from his school when he was supposed to be in class.
I don't feel safe. I'm just scared to go back. There's something could happen that same day again.
11-year-old Richard Harley says he doesn't want to go back to class after he was found wandering, scared and alone, miles away from school grounds following a student-led walkout protesting ICE.
They were supposed to stay on 72, like by the school, but they did the exact opposite. It went just way more farther, and no one even knew like how far they were going.
So you kind of got
I was like the last one, so I was like all alone.
The incident happened Tuesday morning at Dundee Middle School in the far northwest suburb where the sixth grader is a student.
What's going on?
His mother says she was not notified about the walkout, and because her son has special needs and an individualized education program, or IEP, takes issue with him being allowed to leave campus without supervision or parental authorization.
Why didn't I get, a notification that he was tardy, or absent for that matter? Why didn't they even bother calling in?
Blaisdell says her son didn't understand what the walkout was about and merely went along with the other students when they went outside. She says the protest turned dangerous for Richard when he couldn't keep up with the other kids who were marching along Main Street and Route 72 Higgins Road. Blaisdell said her son called her in a panic.
He said, you just need to come pick me up. I don't know what's going on. I'm very scared.
The 34-year-old mother of three says she called police but was able to locate her son through his cell phone about 10 minutes later near the busy intersection of 72 and Randall Road.
It's not right because my kid, again, is supposed to be safe, in school.
So yeah, man, that's really crazy. Now, some are going to say, well, it's not anyone's fault. The kid couldn't keep up. Well, first of all, you can't just do stuff like that without telling the parents. I would presume if you got the kid that already has special needs, he has an IEP. I mean, come on, the kid has issues, so you got to make sure. Like, if the mom would have known they were going to do this, she wouldn't have allowed it. It just wouldn't have happened. She would say absolutely not, because I know my son, he's not going to be able to do this. So he shouldn't have been a part of it. But because it just do stuff, it just walk out. Now he's got to be part of it. So now you can't do stuff like that. And again, one kid already got hit by a car. You're going to have kids that seriously get injured doing stuff like this. And it's going to be like, well, hey, whatever. It's okay. It's okay. Injured for no reason, because ultimately the walkouts will do nothing. The immigration enforcement will continue. It's not going to do anything. People just say things that sound good to them, right? They say things that sound good to them, talking about, oh, let's do a protest, let's do a walkout. Oh, okay, for what reason? Exactly. Like, you're talking about ICE in Atlanta. There was a video that came out where Trump was talking about bringing ICE to Atlanta. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it right quick. I got to find that because this is pretty important. Where Trump was talking about ICE potentially coming to Atlanta. And then people were talking about, oh, it's not going to happen here. It's not going to happen here. But really, ICE is already in Atlanta. And you wouldn't even know it. You would have no idea. They're already in Atlanta. But people just want to say things that sound good to them without knowing anything about anything, without knowing any kind of facts, really. Okay, as I look for that, I'm going to play this next video. Now, this is going to be my guy, Tim Black. Shout out to Tim Black. Hey, Tim, I saw you did a video about me. You didn't like my video about Trump being the first black president. It's fine. It's okay. Okay, I ain't watching it. I just saw the thumbnail, and I read some of the comments. People hating. He looks so old. Okay, your mama look old. But anyway, Tim is a good dude. I met him in person. I met him many years ago at Politicon in Nashville. This might have been like scandemic time right before, like 2019, 2020. I met him. Normie dude with his wife and kids. Good guy. Okay, now here is Tim Black talking about what happened in Georgia, where an illegal alien ran from ICE, hit a black woman and killed her. Some are trying to blame ICE, talking about, oh, why'd you chase her? There's no chase policy. But they should just blame the illegal alien for causing the accident to begin with. Okay, let's check it out.
Why is it that Mr. Vasquez is not being regarded as a killer right now? Why is it that he's getting special preferential treatment right now? Look, man, why are we running interference for the guy who's breaking the law, ran from cops in his car, now turned it into a weapon? and runs into a lady and takes her life. Why are you defending him? He killed a sister. Man, I am convinced that some of y'all are not even black, you're blue. And I don't mean the cops, I mean blue as in Democrats. Yeah, you're not black Americans or foundational Americans. You're Democrats. You want to run back and claim blackness only when it's co-signed by your Democratic Party, fam.
There we go. So shout out to Tim Black. He's right on point. It's like, okay, some of you claim to be all for the black man, pro-black, blackity, black, black, black. Meanwhile, an illegal alien kills a black woman and somehow you defending the illegal alien and you want to attack the cops. Really? The illegal alien shouldn't have been here. The illegal alien shouldn't have ran from the police. You shouldn't have done it. Now, that's probably not them at the bottom. Probably what kind of AI picture he made, but that's generally how it was. Illegal alien, black woman. Okay. So he's 100% correct about that. Shout out to you, Tim Black. Good video. Okay. Good video. Now, I did find the one about Trump in Atlanta. Okay. And this is what I'm talking about. People that virtue signal. Oh, all right, don't come to Atlanta. Don't come. You're going to be the YNs. The YNs ain't going to do nothing. The YNs ain't going to do nothing. Let me tell you something about the YNs. The young neurologists, the young nature researchers, the young natalist. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. The young black men out there acting the fool. Let me tell you something about them. They are not out there for a particular cause. It is out there just doing stupid stuff because they're young. Dumb stuff. And a lot of times it's for no reason. And they're talking about, oh, we trying to get some money. Meanwhile, if you're a dope boy, a young black dope boy, a drug dealer or whatever, how much money do you really make? How much money do you really make? The guys that's out there in the street just shooting and killing and thugging and drugging don't make no money. These are the brokest humans you ever seen in your life. They're like one step from homeless. So they're not going to do nothing other than continue to kill each other and themselves. Maybe they might get hooked on drugs and die like that, but they're not going to be out there trying to really fight against no political people. Those that are out there fighting against the political people are the ones that are being paid, like in Minnesota. That's the reality of where we are right now. Aside from that, hey man, let me get a Papa John's pizza, wash it down with a Diet Coke, and then I'm good. Watch my Netflix, play my PlayStation, I'm straight. Anyway, here is what Trump said about Atlanta needing maybe a surge in the ICE presence. Okay, and remember, this is from the Black History Month event. So this is an all-black crowd saying that they want ICE to be there and reacting positively when he says we can come if you guys give us a call. Okay, check it out.
Need a little help. You need help in Atlanta. He just said, you're right, Atlanta, we could take care of Atlanta. I'll tell you what, you ought to get them to call me. We could take care of Atlanta so fast.
Do it. Did you hear that? We could take care of Atlanta so fast. Do it. I'm gonna run that back so you can hear it one more time.
I'll tell you what, you ought to get them to call me. We could take care of Atlanta so fast. They don't want to call. They don't want to call because they don't want to admit it, and they'll never fix it themselves. Don't forget, we move people out. We don't just go in and, be tough guys. We move people out. We take career criminals and we get them out. We bring them back to the country from where they came. And think of it, 90% of the crime is caused by 2% of the people. Think of it. So when you get the criminals out, you solve a lot of problems. Another need a little help.
Now, that was 100% on point. Very well said. And Atlanta does have a problem. I mean, you got some parts of the city that's cool, but then you got some crime encroaching, like Sandy Springs, in Sandy Springs, that's like a nice area north of the perimeter, nice little area, nice little safe area, nice little safe pocket. They found a dead body right there on, what was that, Hammond, right there by Perimeter Mall. A dead body right there I think it might have been a dead body buried because they built something right there and they found a dead body buried at the construction site. So, I mean, it gets real. A 2-year-old got shot in the apartment complex in Sandy Springs. So, hey, the crime is there and the illegal aliens are going to just add an element to it that'll make it worse, that'll increase the crime. Now, some are going to be offended at what he said at the end, talking about 90% of the population commit 2% of the crime. You said it before, and some said that it was a racist thing. They said it was racist dog whistle because they're talking about the 1350 or whatever, which is a thing where they say 13% of the population, black folks, commit 50% of the crime or commit 50% of the homicides. I mean, even if he was referring to that, it's not false, but he's not referring to that. Let me do it with that stat says first. Let me do it with what he's talking about first. Then I'm going to do it with what some say that he was alluding to, although he's not. Most people, regardless of what your color is, are not criminals. So when you say 90% of the crime is committed by 2% of the people, you could take it as a racist dog whistle. I'll explain in a minute. But you could just take it as most of us, regardless of what your color is, are not criminals. All of us watching this stream, I would presume, are not criminals. You may have a criminal past, potentially, maybe, but you're not a criminal right now. You're not thugging and drugging right now watching me. I mean, I seriously doubt that it's a guy right there on Spring Street with his pistol waiting for a car to come up to rob it. The water boy, I doubt he watches ABL live, okay? I doubt he's watching ABL live at all. So what he said is correct. 90% of the crime committed by 2% of the people, whether they be illegal aliens, black, white, Puerto Rican, and Kenyan strike. The criminal element of the country is the problem. And also those who hooked on drugs. That's not a colorblind thing. That's black, white, everybody affected by that. But it's still the minority, the extreme minority of us. We shouldn't be passing laws to cater to the small minority of us that are causing problems, because when you do that, you're going to cause those problems to intensify. Now, to get back to the 1350, yes, it's true that 50% of the homicides are committed by the black population, 13%, but it's also true that it's mostly black folks that are being killed. We're like 52% of the murderers, 48% of the homicides. So that's pretty much what, like I said, it's the YNs are killing each other. They also commit crime against others, but nowhere near as much as they committed against us. Fun fact, but anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, black folks, because we experience a lot of these criminals in our area more than others, although most of us are not criminals, we understand what the law is. Now, when we see the migrants, illegal aliens, whatever you're going to call them, when we see them do whatever they want to do and there's no accountability, they could be in the country illegally, get money illegally, scam you, rob you, whatever. No big deal. No problem. No driver's license, crashing up cars, skyrocketing car insurance rates. No problem. They could do whatever we want, but we can't. If we did a fraction of that, it'd be straight to the penitentiary, straight to the chain gang, straight back to slavery, 13th Amendment. We're just saying, hey, let's hold everyone accountable. It don't matter what color you are. If you're in this country and you commit a crime, be held accountable. If certain groups of us are being given a slap on the wrist or a pass, it's unfair. Let's watch.
If we don't have laws in this country, then what are we following? Why are we subjected to laws as citizens if we're going to allow non-citizens to do whatever the hell they want to do and be protected? They have more protections than you do. And as a black man, I take offense to that because nobody was protecting us. No one has ever protected us. Foundational black Americans have always been the target of law enforcement. It's ICE agents' fault because they shouldn't have been trying to chase them. So we're just going to let people just break laws, commit crimes, and just run away and say, you know what? Sorry. What if he would have went out on a shooting spree and then they were chasing him? What were they supposed to do? Stop? Hey, let them get away. I don't get y'all, man. If we don't have laws in this.
Exactly. And he's referring to the woman that was killed in Georgia by the illegal alien that ran away. And there was a big thing of people trying to defend the illegal alien, people that were attacking the ICE agents for chasing the illegal alien, which caused the wreck. It's like, it's not their fault. It's not the ICE agent's fault that he ran and crashed. It's not his fault. It's not their fault. It's his fault. It's not the ICE agent's fault. It's his fault for running. But some got it twisted. And again, How are you just going to be able to come into the country and do whatever you want to do? Meanwhile, American citizens like me and you guys can't do that. It's unfair. If you're going to be held accountable, let's let us all be held accountable, not just some of us. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling here. Now, this is going to be about what's happening in Maryland with the governor, Wes Moore. Wes Moore is trying to prevent local sheriffs from cooperating with ICE, which is a bad thing to do because Maryland, a hot spot for illegal alien activity, human trafficking, all of that, drugs, all of that. It's a hot spot for that. That's where the Maryland dad, right? That's where he was living. Oh, I'm going to work. I'm going to work. I work in St. Louis. Oh, okay. What you do in St. Louis? Human trafficking? You sell meth? Like, what's going on, bro? Hey, this dude got pulled over. And I'm speaking about Kim Arbecker Garcia, Maryland dad. He got pulled over in Tennessee before the whole deportation kerfuffle happened. He got pulled over in Tennessee with a retrofitted van with a bunch of illegal aliens inside. And nobody speaking no English except for him. Okay? The van was modified to hold a bunch of people. He was on this normal human trafficking route from the border to Maryland. Maryland has a problem. Law enforcement knows it, but the governor is getting in the way, trying to prevent them from working with ICE, which will hamper their law enforcement efforts overall. If we can't get the federal government to come help us, we're going to be at a disadvantage. We got illegal aliens roaming around doing whatever they want to do, and we are having our hands tied quite literally when trying to get them out of the country. All right, let's watch.
The abolishment of the 287G program is not the abolishment of ICE. They're going nowhere. In fact, they're going to intensify their efforts. We warned them this was going to happen, and it's going to happen.
A warning on Wednesday issued by sheriffs from the 9 Maryland counties forced to end active partnerships with ICE under a new state law.
It is the biggest betrayal to law enforcement and public safety that I have ever seen.
There will be people missed. And that is my concern. There'll be people missed and who will be re-released into our communities who pose a threat.
The legislation signed by the governor Tuesday abolishes 287G agreements with ICE.
Mark my word, you will see a dramatic increase in the presence of ICE in this state. The abolishment of the 287G program.
All right, there we go. So, hey, ICE, they need to be there. They need to be on the ground. They need to be assisting local law enforcement with their efforts to get rid of the crime. Now, this is going to be our HUD Secretary, Housing and Urban Development Secretary, Scott Turner. Now, Scott Turner is a face to look for. Remember his face. Remember his voice. He's going to be around for a long time. I like Scott Turner, just like Scott Bessent, Marco Rubio. I think this time Trump has a much better team around him. He had a pretty good team before, but I think now the team is much better. So, again, shout out to Scott Turner. This is, again, our HUD Secretary.
HUD's duty is to the American taxpayer. The truth is codified in the law, which blocks ineligible foreigners from siphoning HUD's resources. For too long, illegals and ineligibles have taken spots in public housing through the mixed status roommate loophole, while Americans were sidelined on the wait list. Today, we're ending that injustice. We're proposing new regulations that will uphold the law, demanding that all members in HUD-supported households give proof of U.S. citizenship or eligible status. And we expect that we'll be able to transfer up to $218 million in housing assistance to needy American families on wait lists as a result. Under President Trump's leadership, the days of illegal aliens, ineligibles, and fraudsters gaming the system and riding the coattails of American taxpayers are over. HUD's proposed rule will 100% guarantee that all residents in HUD-funded housing are eligible tenants. We have zero tolerance for pushing aside hard-working U.S. citizens while enabling others to exploit decades-old loopholes.
There we go. So shout out to Scott Turner, our HUD Secretary. And this loophole is often used by the Somalis. What did it say? Like 81% of Somalis in Minnesota are on some kind of government assistance. Minnesota is like number 1 in the USA per capita for welfare benefits, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, y'all correct me in the comments, but Minnesota's up there. And this is one thing that they do. The Somalis, what they do, they're good at gaming the system, doing things that are against the spirit of the law. 100%. So I like that rule change. It was necessary. It was needed because we have regular American citizens that need housing as well. We got veterans on the street. We got all kind of things happening in the USA with our own citizens. So our primary focus should be our own citizenry and not foreign invaders, illegal aliens, things of this nature. And if you're going to come here to the country, you should be working anyway. You shouldn't be relying upon government assistance. If you cannot hack it in the USA, then why are you here? To take advantage of the benefits, to scam, to steal, to rob, to loot. We don't need any more of that than we have already in the USA. So again, shout out to our HUD Secretary, Scott Turner. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling. Now, this is going to be Justin Pierce. Remember him? What was it? The Memphis 3, Memphis 5, whatever that was. I ain't going to go through that whole thing, but basically he had got kicked out of the, he was kicked out of the Tennessee State House for protesting. It was a whole big thing. But anyway, here he is on CNN.
We have to.
Now, are we going to hear Malcolm X, Pearson, or regular guy, Pearson? Hey, are we going to hear Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, or just Justin? All right, which one are you going to hear tonight? Let's check them out.
We have to abolish ICE. We have to abolish the Customs and Border Patrol in the way that they currently exist and replace them with something that actually does the work that we need for them to do, and that is effective at holding these people in this administration accountable. I'll tell you what the work is not. The work is not killing American citizens.
You said the work we need them to
community.
do. I'm interested in your opinion. What is the work that we need them to do?
Absolutely. One, the work is not killing American citizens.
No, what is the work we need them to do?
Well, first, let's look at what they don't need to do. They don't need to go into.
Come on, Justin. Like that's not. See, you messing up, man. Like he's asking you a direct question. What work should they do? Don't say what they shouldn't do. That's not work that it should be. Like, okay, if they're doing something, you can say, okay, let's not do that. But that's not work that they should be doing. Okay. If I am, let's say I'm building the house, right? And you're saying, hey, you're not doing the work you should be doing. And then I say, okay, what should I be doing? Tell me what I should be doing so I can do that and move forward. Well, you shouldn't be doing. I ain't ask you all that. I ain't ask you. I could stop doing that. Okay, that's cool. If I stop doing that, then what?
Communities like Memphis,
Do they need to deport illegal aliens?
Where they're currently terrorizing and traumatizing our communities. What we also need to make sure is that we have elected officials who are creating a pathway of opportunity.
I don't like people like that. It's like they're too trained, because what he's doing, I'm going to start from the top. Pardon me for interrupting. What he's doing is just speaking through what Scott is saying, ignoring what he's saying, because some will think it's okay to overtalk someone that they don't agree with. But that is really ruining the spirit of this kind of show. Just kind of it's like, okay, let's exchange ideas. It shouldn't be let's use tactics on each other to succeed in this confrontation, because that's not going to really help those who need to be helped. If it's me watching this, I don't feel intellectually stimulated. I feel like I've been robbed of my time. Let me start from the top so you can see the full thing and without my commentary.
We have to abolish ICE. We have to abolish the Customs and Border Patrol in the way that they currently exist and replace them with something that actually does the work that we need for them to do, and that is effective at holding these people in this administration accountable. I'll tell you what the work is not. The work is not killing American citizens.
You said the work we need them to
community.
do. I'm interested in your opinion. What is the work that we need them to do?
Absolutely. One, the work is not killing American citizens.
No, what is the work we need them to do?
Well, first, let's look at what they don't need to do. They don't need to go into communities like Memphis,
Do they
Tennessee,
need to deport illegal aliens?
where they're currently terrorizing and traumatizing our communities. What we also need to make sure is that we have elected officials who are creating a pathway of opportunity for people who are currently undocumented.
Do we need a federal law enforcement agency to deport illegal aliens, yes or no?
We do need a federal law enforcement agency that deals with immigration, that doesn't kill people.
To deport illegal aliens,
what we
yes
do
or no?
also need is laws that make sure that people who are undocumented...
Is there a single illegal alien that you would deport?
You know, this is what I want you to focus on.
Is there one?
I want you to focus on. There are a lot of people in this country and in this community, in our communities, that have done so much to make them better, and we need to be prioritizing how we create opportunity.
Is this the Democratic position for 26?
The
that there are
Democratic
no
position
illegal
in
aliens that should be
26,
deported?
the Democratic position in 26 is that we don't terrorize American citizens, we don't terrorize undocumented
If you were advising
people,
Democrats in 26, would you advise them to answer this question this way, that you can't say there is a single illegal alien that should be deported by the federal government?
What is shocking to me is that you think you can narrow the challenges of immigration,
There's 20 million
that you can
here.
challenge the issues of immigration into one yes or no question, when the reality is the policies and practices
should we follow
of
the law is the yes or no
administration have led to the deaths of American citizens and has not produced the results.
No deportation.
All right, Justin. Yeah, that's not very good, Justin. That's not very good, bro, because the thing about it is, let's say he's trying to be a politician, and he was in, like, he's in the Tennessee State House right now. He don't go to D.C. He's a state rep in Tennessee right now as we speak. Okay? Now, if you want to go further than that, Justin, you got to have a real answer, because once you on a real stage having a true debate with people who are serious and not trying to play games on TV with my man, what's his name? Scott. A lot of Scotts out there. There's Scott Turner, Scott Benson, Scott, everybody. Anyway, Scott's tape. But seriously, Justin, you got to be able to come with a real answer. If you are on a debate stage with the real political opponent going for a big position in the federal government, and they ask you about illegal immigration, and you give that answer, that's not going to be satisfactory. If I'm watching you, if I could vote for you potentially, and I was a Democrat, I'd just bypass you for the person that has a better answer than you. All right. So, yeah, shout out to him. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. What is his name? What is my man's name? Scott hold on. So now I got to find it. Scott Jennings. Okay. Scott Jennings. I just showed Scott Turner, and then that was Scott Jennings. And then I was thinking about Scott Percent from the Treasury. Let's invent another name in 2026 for some of these guys. Hey, quick story. Back in the day, I used to work as a dishwasher, Old Country Buffet. You know my story about Old Country Buffet. I used to work in the back washing dishes, right? And sometimes it'd be 3 guys back there. One time, it was 3 guys, all named Anthony. So we had to go by our last name instead. It was just too much going on. So maybe we just go by the last name rather than calling them Scott. Anyway.
There's a house.
Now, this guy takes joy in the fact that his Trump supporter, This guy takes joy in the fact that his Trump supporter neighbor had an ambulance outside of his home because maybe there was some kind of medical issue with the person, which is crazy. But let's hear from this individual.
There's a house near me that I drive past all the time that has like so many Trump signs, so many Trump flags. And I just fucking roll my eyes. I give it the finger, even though nobody's outside. I give it the finger every time I drive by. But today when I drove by, there was a cop, a firefighter, and an ambulance there. And somebody was being put into the back of the ambulance. So today's going to be a good day. There's a house.
All right. So you know what? There's a lot I want to say here. First of all, when you wish harm on others, when you wish negativity on others, all you're going to do is invite that very same thing into your life. So it's not the flex you think it is. It's not a flex at all. All you're doing is saying, hey, universe, come punish me because of my negative heart, because of my hateful heart. I saw my neighbor, could have been dead, could have been anything in the back of the ambulance, and I got excited. That's your own inner demon working against you. But you know what? If you don't want to do nothing about it, you think it's okay, it's fine. It's totally fine. But in the end, when it all falls apart, in the end, when you got to face judgment, you got to deal with that. So, hey, man, hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. Hey, live your life how you want to live it, but I hope you're prepared for that. For whatever happens, no threat from me. That's going to be your own life coming back to haunt you yourself. All right, let's keep on rocking. Now, I feel like I've shown this before, but it's not this. There was a different video. Somebody saying something similar. Now, this person says on her wedding invitation or registry or something, on her wedding invites on registry, she's going to have a little box. Trump, are you a Trump voter or not? Let's watch.
Okay, quick question. Is it rude to put on your wedding registry when people are RSVPing, have you ever voted for Donald Trump in an election? And if they vote or say yes, they automatically get booted. Like, is that rude? Is that not appropriate? Just trying to figure out who we actually want at our gay wedding in May.
Okay, now check it out. If I ever was invited to a wedding and on the registry they say, are you a Trump voter or not? If I know them and they're not Trump supporters, I'm automatically not go. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I'm not going to go to your wedding. I'm not going to buy you anything on your registry. I'm not buying no Pampers, no strollers, no bottles, no diapers. I'm not doing nothing. Don't worry about it. Matter of fact, if I was a liberal, I might just say, yeah, so I can get booted and be free from the responsibility or the peer pressure of buying you something. And that'd be what I do. You know what? I'd be a Stone Cold. I could be a dude with a mohawk, blue on one side, green on the other side, the biggest septum ring in history, a Guinness Book of World Record. It'd be like this right here. It could be a whole, like, I'm talking about huge, humongous septum ring. I could have all of that going on. If I saw that on registry, I'm going to say, yeah, I'm a Trump voter. Yeah, I'm a Trump supporter. I'm MAGA 2024, 2028, and forever. Just so I wouldn't give you 1 red cent. That's what I would do. So yeah, shout out to our friends who on registry. Hey, I gave you the hack. Just say you voted for Trump, so you don't got to give her nothing. And don't feel guilty about it. There you go. Problem solved. Now, Minnesota, my goodness. You have the Somalis saying that they want reparations due to what ICE did to them, which is crazy. But let's hear from them, shall we? Okay?
Our community in Minneapolis and across Minnesota have experienced fear, separations, job loss, and severe economic costs. By the action of U.S. Immigration and Customer Enforcement, also known as ICE. Also, but that's not it. We must repair the damage by making sure that this is for our governors, for our state, and for our legislators. We want to make sure that the existing relief programs fits into our criteria of small business owners, not those who make $200,000 and above. We don't make that much amount. We have been suffering since the crisis of ICE. We also demand an immediate help to evictions so families are not pushed to homelessness during the crisis. Our community deserves accountability. Our community deserves safety. We need also justice for those who lost their lives defending the community. ICE out, families in. ICE out, ICE out, small business in. ICE out, small business in. ICE out, justice in. ICE out, justice in. Thank you so much.
Now, you have some nerve to ask for reparations. You guys, not all of you guys in Minnesota, not all people in Minnesota, not all people of her descent, Somalis in Minnesota, but many Somalis in Minnesota were just stealing. So if you were here illegally and stealing, and you can't do that anymore, it's not anyone's fault other than your own that you're suffering financially. So you can't get that Leering Center money anymore. You can't get that Home Health Service Center anymore. You can't get all these fake services money anymore. Now you don't have any more money. Since you don't have Muhammad here anymore. You know what? I can just say Muhammad in general. You don't have the Muhammads. Hey, I could say you don't have the Muhammads. That'd be pretty much everybody. But anyway, you don't have the Muhammads here anymore illegally, and they going back. So your economy is suffering. Oh, well. You shouldn't have built your house on a fragile foundation. Okay, you got to find sturdy ground. Don't build your house in the ocean where it's going to be a hurricane, like North Carolina Outer Banks. Them houses keep falling every year. It's like, well, how are you going to build a house on the sandbar? Like, it makes no sense. The sandbar is like out in the ocean, surrounded by water. It's like an isthmus at best. Why would you build a house right there? It makes no sense. It's the same thing with y'all in Minnesota, having these illegal aliens, migrants, or whatever here, building your foundation of your economy on fraud. Yeah, you're going to be homeless. Yeah, you're going to be evicted. Yeah, you're going to lose money because you can't steal anymore. They have some audacity, some nerve to ask for reparations in that situation. But hey, I guess closed mouths don't get fed. I don't know. Now, this is going to be a Transformer House Rep in Minnesota. This is Democrat House Rep Lee Fink. Hold on, make sure I'm saying anything. Make sure I'm saying the right thing here. Lee Fink. All right. In the State House of Minnesota. Okay.
The PACs.
Now, you're going to hear some things. I'm going to just let it play without telling you what I think. And after he, whatever is done. Give me your opinion.
Mentioned the Paxton case, and the AGs in many states are very clear about that. They're almost jubilant about being able to use these laws to ban young people from accessing content that could be educational if they are queer. And you're a principal, you have LGBT students in your school, and we also know that they're not receiving sex education for queer kids. We know that prurient interest could be, for many people, the very existence of transgender kids. More and more people are saying there simply are no transgender kids. Mention the Paxton.
Now, let's be clear what he's talking about, okay? Now, this is House File 1434. Age verification required for websites harmful to minors. Enforcement by the Attorney General provided and private right of action created. Okay, so he's saying that might not be a good thing because these kids, these young people, minors, would have access to certain content that can help them with their sex education. So what does that mean? Can we put two and two together? He wants minors to have access to pornography. Now, last I checked, that was illegal, sir. Last I checked, that was illegal. And since you wanted to promote it, hey, you know what? If I go through your phone, I know what I'm going to find. If I go through your phone, I know what I'm going to find. And this is part of the issue with these people, with the Transformers. It's a lot of perversion going on. Their minds being warped by that so-called content. I think it's good for minors. Hey, check it out. You know what? You know the best way to show that the content might not be good for minors? First of all, it's illegal, number one. That's the bottom line. You shouldn't be dealing with minors in that kind of way. Leave minors alone. I always say, if you want to be an adult and look like Miss Doubtfire, then that's fine. But leave the kids out of it. Why are we talking about 12 and 13? Leave the children out of this conversation. But beyond that, you shouldn't be trying to lobby to show them inappropriate material underage. But people like this, a lot of them are just perverted, and that's why they become transgender, because this is more entertaining to them than just looking like a regular person. Just being a regular guy is not fun to them. They want to do this to have their entertainment. And then they want to encroach in women's spaces. They want to encroach in the women's restroom, the locker room, and everything else. It's just perversion, point blank, period. We saw, remember the Slender Man girl had escaped from the little halfway house? Who was with her? A Transformer. The dude climbed in her bedroom window. Climbed in the bedroom window. It's like, see, you're just a pervert, ultimately. That's my best friend. Yeah, right, whatever. Okay. Now, speaking about them being perverted, I'm going to show you this little factoid right here, okay? Trans ice rink shooter Robert Dorgan was cousins with the ex-wife he murdered. Now, are you surprised at this headline? Are you actually surprised at this headline? This is from New York Post. Are you surprised at this headline? I know I'm not, because obviously something ain't right with the guy, and something wasn't right from the beginning. My question is, that's your first cousin, second cousin? Did you know that at the time? I'm sure you did. Like, you're not living in New York City somewhere, some big crazy place. You knew exactly who that was. Okay? See? And that's why you did all this to yourself, because you were a pervert from the beginning. Marrying your own cousin, having kids with her, disgusting. But hey, whatever. Whatever. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me see if I'm first cousin, second cousin, whatever. Okay. Let me see now. They are first cousins once removed. They were first, hold on. Let me put it on the screen. He and Rhonda were first cousins once removed. Ain't no way. That's like my sister. I have like first cousins as female. That's like my sisters. For real. Yo. Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, to get to a lighter thing from Minnesota, and not so crazy like the Hills Have Eyes type guy over here putting on the Bret the Hitman Hart outfit. Anyway, this is from Minnesota, where you have people trying to pursue ICE agents on the road, very aggressive, a very aggressive pursuit, trying to follow them, trying to tail them, trying to harass them on the road. This video has a happy ending, from the aggressive pursuit of the ICE agents to the aggressive pursuitors getting very quick karma. Check it out.
It's getting ridiculous out there, folks. This white SUV and this blue car swerving and speeding, trying to block this ICE agent. ICE agent here swerves as if he's gonna take the exit and then goes right back onto the freeway, and then these two demis crash into each other.
Hey, I love it. Shout out to the ICE agent for the evasive maneuvers. I love it. I like it. I love it. I want more of it. Shout out Tim McGraw. Look at that move right there. Okay, we're going to just go, and then quick. All right, I'll go chasing me. Oh, nope. Then they just crash to each other. That was so well done. I don't know where this ICE agent came from. If he came from, if he went to North Carolina and was training in Charlotte for NASCAR or something like this, or Bush League racing, something's going on, because that was an amazing maneuver. That was fantastic. Hey, but you know what? That's what you get for trying to be pursuing ICE agents, harassing them. Leave people alone and you won't have no problems like that. But now y'all look like two dummies on the side of the road, stuck like Chuck. Okay, stuck like Chuck. And the one car kept going. Look, the one car kept going. That's called hit and run right there. So the first thing was trying to attack the ICE agent on the road. Then you did a hit and run with the other car and keep on going. Hey, check it out. I'll tell you what. If that was in Georgia, that would have been a pit maneuver. Hit the back of your wheel, hit the back of your vehicle. You're going to flip like a whole gymnast. You're going to be Gabrielle Douglas in there. You're going to be like, hey, you're going to be flipping like ain't nobody's business. You're going to be ISO speed in the air in your vehicle. So the moral of the story is, please don't do that. Don't harass anybody on the road. It doesn't matter who it is, an ICE agent, a regular normie, or whatever, because you might end up upside down, your neck broke, all of that. It don't take no time for your whole back to be completely destroyed in a car accident. So don't do things like that could put you in that situation. Anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, you know what to do. Please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, I'm not sure where this is, but you got some guys in the vehicle who appear to be Hispanic. Shout out to my Hispanic brothers and sisters. Okay, Odele, Viva La Raza, like Eddie Guerrero from WWF. Anyway, this is a great prank, a good, light-hearted prank. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got injured. Good old-fashioned young guys pranking. Now, there were some people protesting ICE in the place, and they pretended to give them a box of pizza, okay? But there was a surprise with the box. Check it out.
Hey, I got y'all a pizza, bro. Y'all want a pizza here? And this shit empty. Oh, and this shit empty. You're welcome, you're welcome. Yeah,
you're welcome. Yeah, so they're very excited to get the pizza. You know, probably got some kids out there doing their little protests, so-called protests, just, you know, having a good time outside. Hey, you want a pizza? Yay! Run to the box, ain't nothing in there. You're gonna get some garlic sauce and a piece of crust. So y'all enjoy that. So yeah, shout out to them. Hey, that is a great prank, a good old-fashioned prank. I love it. Okay, I definitely approve of that. Shout out to the Hispanic guys in the vehicle having a good old time. Yeah. More stuff like this, please. More stuff like this. Good old-fashioned fun. I like it. Shout out to them. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Now, back to Minneapolis. They are threatening, the city council of Minneapolis is threatening to remove the liquor license of establishments who catered to ICE during the surge. Now, this is, it can't be legal. This reminds me of what happened with that lady. Remember, Super Mayor Tiffany Hingert? Okay, if you didn't give to her campaign, then she would retaliate against you by taking liquor license away. It's like, that's not the way that works. You can't be using these things to punish businesses for operating freely. If it is not illegal for me to do what I did, then how can I be punished? I'm following the law. I'm following the rules. I'm following the regulations. Why punish me? But again, it is Minneapolis. It is Minnesota. And Minnesota sucks. But let's watch this.
A controversial issue today in a Minneapolis City Council committee hearing. Normally, a liquor license renewal is a rather mundane topic. But today, 2 hotels, Canopy and the Depot, were targeted for allegedly housing ICE agents. Fox 9's Karen Scullin joining us now with the discussion. And so, Karen, what exactly is at issue? What did they talk about today?
Well, right. These 2 hotels saw protests during Operation Metro Surge, with some saying they housed ICE agents. Now, the argument is that created a public safety issue. And as a result, some council members say their liquor licenses should not be renewed because they have an obligation to care about the safety of their customers and the people of Minneapolis. But there was plenty of pushback saying housing ICE agents has nothing to do with a liquor license. Councilmember Pearl Warren noting hotels house all kinds of people like white supremacists, prostitutes, drug addicts. They don't ask what your profession is when you check in. But so this was a big issue here at the committee meeting today.
Right. So, Karen, is it even legal for a council to deny a liquor license based on who's staying at the hotel?
Well, it seemed like today, according to the city attorney, that there actually needs to be a connection between the licensed activity and the issues of concern, in this case, public safety. The motion in today's hearing was to let staff conduct an investigation on the matter, therefore delaying a Thursday vote. Now, there was plenty of opposition saying that was a waste of time if there was no legal basis for denial. Councilmember Rainville said he has spoken to leadership at the hotels who report cancellations due to the possibility that they could lose their liquor license. He also said workers would be impacted by that, which would be detrimental. Another council member noted the denial would discourage investment. Ultimately, the motion to delay a vote for investigation failed.
So, Karen, what happens next?
Well, staff will do a little investigation between now and then, so only about a day. But I'm told the liquor licenses for Canopy and the Depot will be decided by full council on this coming Thursday.
All right, and we'll be there to cover it. Thank you, Karen, in our newsroom tonight.
So, yeah, that is very illegal. You can't do that. It's called retaliation. And there's no legal basis upon which they can actually do this because, okay, you're saying because they house ICE agents. Well, what they got to do? I did say earlier, you can't deny someone access to the hotel based on what they do. It's called discrimination. Now, this was 100 years ago, then you maybe could do that, but not anymore. You can't do that. So that's going to be a big lawsuit, and they're going to most certainly win. They're going to sue the city council's pants off for that, and they're going to win. That'll go to the Supreme Court of the USA potentially if the courts in Minnesota are too cowardly to just do the right thing. That'll go all the way to the big boys, and they're going to win eventually. So I don't know why Minnesota would do that or even attempt to do that. It's intimidation. I wouldn't be scared. If I am the hotels out there, they're talking about taking my license because I had ICE agents. Look, I already know that there could be 2 things that happen. The first thing is that they go through with it. I sue them and sue their pants off and win. Or the second thing is they don't do anything. They were just trying to scare me. Either way it goes, I'm not going to lose in a situation, in my humble opinion. Now, let's keep on going here. This is going to be a state rep from Minnesota, talking about how ridiculous it is for Minnesotans to be fearful of ICE. So apparently, from what I read, this guy's on our side. But let's watch and see what he says.
If they come to our state, it's an invasion. It's an occupation. People are being kidnapped, not detained, not arrested, kidnapped. Rhetoric like that, and the stance that your party has taken from top to bottom, from Governor Walz all the way down, that there is no legitimacy to federal authority is nothing less than insurrectionist rhetoric. And that is why, take your moment. I got mine. Take your moment to digest that. Look it up. The number of lawyers that are laughing at me right now. Do you understand how the Supremacy Clause works? Do you understand what insurrection is? It's the undermining of federal authority. January 6th, thank you so much for bringing that up. You guys went on and on and on about that for what, 4 years? Yeah, it's still celebrated as a holiday on your side of the aisle. One riot on one day. It's an attack on democracy. You ran an entire election on it. For months and weeks on end, we have had the top law enforcement officer in this state, the governor in this state, the mayor of Minneapolis, and many of you actively undermine federal authority when it comes to immigration law. And acting upon that rhetoric, people like Renee Good and people like Alex Preddy put themselves in harm's way. They did what you
Point of order, Madam Speaker. Point of order. Point of order. Personality is not allowed in debate. We are not going to allow you. We are not going to allow you to impugn community members who have been murdered by the federal government. How dare you? That is shameful.
Hey, you know what, Minnesota? Good luck, Minnesota. Good luck. Good luck. I mean, your city council openly biased, breaking laws. I mean, and the thing about Minnesota City Council, they probably got the worst city council in the history of city councils. They got a bunch of they got at least 2 transformers up there. It's a mess. So Minnesota City Council, the state government, all of that is a mess. All right, let's keep on going here. Now, this story was crazy because it doesn't make sense. Now, there's a guy from Miami-Dade County, and he says that he's a Trump voter. So is his partner of 20 years or a Trump supporter, because we'll talk about that in a minute. They're both Trump supporters, but his partner of 20 years, not wife, got deported. And he now crying, oh, I didn't vote for this. Let's please watch this. Please. Okay, let's please. And you already hear him crying.
Please, she does not deserve this. She's the sweetest person, and she prayed for you.
A desperate plea to President Trump from a South Florida man fearing his life partner could be deported to Cuba at any moment. He reached out to our Christian De La Rosa to share his story and his remorse.
It's been 8 months. I didn't know a man could cry this much. I did not think that this would happen.
Wayne DeMario has been working overtime at a Southwest Miami-Dade guitar shop, trying to distract himself from his pain and regret.
I hate to see her going through this. She's my best friend.
His life partner of nearly 20 years, Yamile Alcantu, originally from Cuba, ICE detained her back in June.
8 months that she's been taken. I call it kidnapped because it basically is.
He says it happened during what they thought was just another immigration check-in.
They grabbed her, put her in shackles and chains.
She'd been checking in annually, as so many do, hoping to fix her status. She lost her legal residency and got a deportation order back in 2008 after a traffic stop.
They go through her purse, and then they dump the purse out, and 3 Xanax pills fall out.
But in those years, he says, they didn't think much of it.
Let's pause. Now, hold on. Before I pause, let me finish. Let me go to pause.
Pills fall out.
But in those years...
Hold on. Let's back up to see what she did. Okay, 2008, traffic stop. Purse gets dumped out for some reason, and we got 3 pills inside. Why did the purse get dumped out? Did the dog hit on the drugs in the car? I don't know, but let's go ahead and rewind that.
Lost her legal residency and got a deportation order back in 2008 after a traffic stop.
They go through her purse, and then they dump the purse out, and 3 Xanax pills fall out.
But in those years, he says, they didn't think much of it.
Cuban's not going to get deported, so don't worry about it.
Today, DHS.
Now, she got deported because she got drugs, okay? She had a drug charge, crimes, dangerous drugs of possession, and she had been given a deportation order back in 2008. That's a very long time. You're talking about 18 years ago. 18 years. You're here illegally. And here's my question to the guy. That's your life partner of what, 20 years? Why y'all didn't get married? Now, maybe I'm ignorant, but if you get married, doesn't that kind of protect you, at least somewhat, from being deported? Like, isn't that the way to keep, if it ain't no fraud going on, y'all really a couple, wouldn't that be how you kind of avoid that? My question would be, why didn't you get married? Why you aren't here crying about an illegal alien being deported, when you weren't married to her, when you could have been. Or she could have become a citizen. She could have done something other than just saying, you know what? I have a deportation order, a final deportation order for drugs. I'm going to just say, you know what? It's all good. I got Xannies in my purse. I might have had more. Might have had some cocaine in the back. They ain't fine. But it's okay. It's cool. Come on now. Yeah, no anchor babies. No anchor babies. No marriage. No nothing. It seems fishy to me. Now that's a real story because I see the news story right here on the interwebs, like on the regular website. So hey, shout out to everybody that comes here legally, does the right thing. If you are not here legally, you do the wrong thing, you get deported. It is what it is. Now, this woman says the future is Latinx. Now, shout out to all my Hispanic viewers. I'm gonna ask y'all. Do you say Latinx or Latinx or however you pronounce this in your real life? I've never, ever heard anybody say Latinx in person. It's only ever these executive types, these people that, you know, want to push certain language that fits their narrative, but it's not how people actually speak. It's not how we actually speak. All right, let's go ahead and, it's like saying people of color. Like, people don't really say that. That's not really a thing that everybody... Like, you don't just go out and say people of color. That's more of a formal thing that you would say on the internet, and that's not even widely said there. I know I don't use it. I just say black or whatever the color is. But let's watch.
Just look around. America, the future is Latinx. Like, I don't know how else to put it, but we are the biggest minority in this country. We're also the fastest growing demographic here. And we're facing a completely new audience. The Hispanics in America are no longer, you know, people like my mom who immigrated somewhere. Like, these are people that were born here. And they feel super connected to their roots through music and food and culture and ingredients from home. But they also are super integrated into the American society because that's where they grew up, right? So I felt like retailers just need to get with the times. All
right, there we go. So, well, I'm going to agree that she's saying something I'm going to agree with her about the population. They're popping them out like popcorn, okay? Like 4 or 5 birth rate. Pop, 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 pop. I mean, remember the Manhattan Hotel? What was that? What was the name of that hotel in Manhattan, New York City, where they had the migrants? Hold on, NYC migrant. What was that hotel? I know what I'm talking. The Roosevelt Hotel. That was like a baby meal. You're talking about a baby born every day, maybe multiple born every day from that one hotel, just popping them out. So yeah, she's right about that. And the more you have illegal immigration, mass immigration, that's going to be more and more. There's nothing wrong with Hispanic people, but if you want a country to be the way it is, you need to focus on producing people that were born here already, so you can move the country to a different. Because if you get a bunch of newcomers coming here trying to run the show, it won't be run as well as those who have been here for a long time. They just now starting to get used to our culture, learning, educating. They have not been here for a very long time to understand the way things work. So that's just that on that. But she's right about that. They are pretty much growing rapidly. But that whole Latinx thing, I don't think so. Now, speaking about growing rapidly, this is going to be New York, okay? And this picture right here, this freeze frame is so poetic because you see all the Muslims, the Muslims doing their prayer, and the white guy's like, what's going on? Where am I at? It's like looking like Peter Parker that in time travel. How did I get here? What happened? I was just with Uncle Ben and Mary Jane. Now I'm in Afghanistan, but I've not left New York City. But let's watch.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
So, I mean, what's going on in New York? Is that common to have like the prayer just out in the street like that? Like a mass prayer is that normal? And why do they do it outside like that? Is it to try to recruit people because they can go and see? Because one thing about Islam, I'm gonna tell you why people are interested. The music, intoxicating. The way they speak to you, it makes sense to a lot of people. Because I talk to them. I talk to the Christians, the Muslims, everybody. I talk to them. And I could see how somebody could get wrapped up in it. Me, I'm way beyond that. So when they're talking to me, I can already, they're not telling me anything new. I know all about all of it. But somebody who's uninformed could get wrapped up in it. And we saw that during the ISIS time where you had kids from Toronto going to the desert somewhere and getting blown up just on GP because they felt like they want to be part of this culture. Meanwhile, they really want to be at home playing video games. They don't want to be outside getting killed for no reason. All right, let's keep on going here. All right, what are we going to do? Hold on. This is going to be a throwback of Zohran. A quick throwback from his campaign days. Just what was this, last year or 24? I believe it was last year. This is how much? How much is on the bar? I think this is only what, like 95? Nah, it's 115 pounds. 115 pounds on the bar. Now, I know, Zohran, you a big brain, rocket scientist, whatever. To some people, you may be that. But if you are a super genius, it's also important to be in shape a little bit. If you can't lift a 115-pound bar, you got a problem. If you can't lift it a few times, you got a problem. But let's watch this. Again, a throwback from, I believe, last year or 2024.
You move up in the pole! Yeah! This is how you move up in the pole! Yeah! Yeah! Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go! Yeah! Let me get one more, let me get three! Let me get three! Let me get three! Yeah!
Zohran Mamdani, I need you to do a little bit of strength training, just a little bit. I mean, you're an adult male. If you're an adult male in any kind of good health at all, that should not be difficult. 115 pounds, bro, on the bar. Come on. Like, let's be serious. If you had a 115-pound bag of water, that's one thing. That's going to be kind of awkward to kind of carry. A bar, 115 pounds, bro. Hey, I'm older than you. I could do that all day long. That's nothing. That shouldn't be the case. All right. But we'll get to that. Somebody said I'm taking calls. Calls come later in the show. Calls come at about 10:30. So I got you. Now, here's Kathy Hochul saying that she has no plans on taxing the rich. Now remember, Zohran's thing, hold on, before I play this, I'm gonna show you what Zohran said before. I'm gonna show you what Zohran said before, what he's saying now, and then I'm gonna get into Kathy Hochul saying, well, we're not really gonna do that. Okay, here's Zohran's campaign talking about free this, free that, and then there's the reality.
It's true. As your next mayor, I will freeze your rent.
Paid for by Zohran for NYC.
In order to get to this point of closing the gap on both this fiscal year and the next fiscal year, we are forced to raid the rainy day fund, the retiree health benefits trust reserve, and to increase property taxes across these other. It's true.
Now, that's his plan if he cannot tax the rich. And taxing the rich would be a state decision. You see how it works? So now you're trying to put pressure on Kathy Hochul to raise taxes on the rich to pay for all these things in New York City. She's saying, no, we're not going to do that. So what's going to end up happening is regular citizens in New York will suffer because he'll raise the property taxes by not 2, but by 9.5%. Now let's watch this from Kathy Hochul saying, we're not going to do that.
I understand the frustration out there, but what I want to do is broaden the pool. If we can bring in more money from having more jobs created or more businesses coming here by having an environment where they know what the taxes are. And again, people are paying quite a bit in taxes. I understand that. But I want to make sure that people are still here and we don't end up having those taxes pushed down to lower levels of income to make up for loss. I understand the
There we go. Now, ultimately, what's going to happen, they're going to raise taxes on regular people or they're going to cut spending. Now, Zohran Mamdani being the commie, Mamdani the commie, I don't see him reducing spending, although that'd be the responsible thing to do, rather than trying to raise taxes because you want to increase spending. Okay, now let's go here to Zohran saying, hey, you know what? Do you guys want to shovel snow? Come on down. We'll pay you. I wonder how much do you think the snow shovelers will be paid who volunteer in New York City? Let's watch.
We're utilizing 33 DSNY vans and 2 DSNY buses to transport shovelers where they're needed faster. And for those who want to do more to help your neighbors and earn some extra cash, you too can become an emergency snow shoveler. Just show up at your local sanitation garage between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. tomorrow with your paperwork, which is accessible online at nyc.gov/snow, and you can get started right away. And we're utilizing...
All right, so are you guys going to go out there and volunteer to shovel some snow? What do you say? How about picking up the doo-doo from the ground left by the dogs after the snow melted? Anybody want to just volunteer your services for a low amount of money? Breaking your back, risking cardiovascular failure? Anybody want to do that? One thing about shoveling snow, you guys got to understand, in all seriousness, especially as older guys, as you get older, you think you could do it a certain way, but your body is going to react differently than what it would have in the past. So please be careful out there shoveling snow because your heart is going to be working very hard. You may not realize it because you're not like sweating heavy like you would be in the summertime, but your heart is pounding to do that exercise. So please be careful about shoveling snow. Okay, now, I think these are city council members. It says this person is a reporter. All right. This might just be a news segment about Zohran. Then we're going to get into what the taxpayers have to say in New York City about Zohran's proposed 9.5% property tax increase.
But he's done it himself in some ways. Like, nobody told you to say, to push this hard for this higher tax for the wealthy or to put raising property taxes on the, I think some of this is the mayor creating almost challenges for himself. But he's done it to himself.
Now, the thing about it is people that voted for Zohran Mamdani, maybe they didn't think that he would have to raise taxes to pay for all these things. But at a certain point, common sense must come into the picture. And you have to understand someone saying that there's going to be free this and free that. It's not going to be free this or free that. It will be free for you to use, but it will be paid for by you. Okay, like, here's an example. I raise taxes by X amount, and the thing that you use cost X amount. Rather than paying for that thing directly, I just made you pay more in taxes, so you pay for it indirectly. That's all that's going on. Okay, now, so this is a public advocate, Jermaine Williams, saying that New Yorkers are correct. They're right to be upset about what Mamdani is doing with the tax increase or the proposed tax increase. To check it out.
So I think folks should be angry about what was proposed. I always want to make sure people are angry at the right people. And I believe folks should be angry at Kathy Hochul, who has said that she won't even entertain taxing the wealthy. And when she talks about it, she speaks as if taxing the wealthy means taxing everybody. And it just doesn't. And so the choice is, are we going to raise revenue from the 33,000 wealthiest folks in New York, or are we going to raise the revenue or cut services from everybody else? And that's really what we're boiling down. So
the thing about that, bro, you can't just keep bleeding that 33,000 dry. Because a lot of that 33,000 have businesses. A lot of those people have homes they rent out, landlords, they had investments. When you're making them pay that much more in taxes, it's going to cut into their bottom line. So all it's going to do is get passed down to the consumer. So the consumer or the middle class person and the lower class person. So those people are going to be squeezed regardless. You're going to make things more expensive. You're going to cause inflation artificially by raising the prices. You're going to cause inflation or you're going to directly tax people who are not rich. Either way, they're going to pay more money due to the inflation of goods because you tax the wealthy and they pass that cost down to the non-wealthy, or they're going to pay more in taxes so they pay their money directly. Either way, it's going to be bad for the middle class and the lower class. Now, let's go here. Here we have New York City residents saying, absolutely not. We're not going to be a pawn. We will not let you we would not let you make us a pawn. We would not let you raise our taxes. And just one thing here. These guys are Cuomo voters. You see, the thing about New York, it's a big place and they're not all on the same page politically. They may be Democrat voters, maybe Democrats, but they're not going to vote for Mamdani. I think the Mamdani voters are the transplants, the hipsters, the rich kids, the Manhattan kids. They voted Mamdani. People like this, working class, Queens in New York City, they're probably going to vote Cuomo. And I was saying vote Cuomo as well, or Eric Adams. But if it's between Cuomo and Zohran, you got to put in Cuomo. Cuomo would have just cut services rather than raise taxes. But let's see this.
The mayor, with the greatest respects, in every campaign speech, in every debate where you engage, we opened our ears to listen. Now today, accept the words echoing from us now. Do your job as mayor and leave our taxes out.
Giving only two options. You're saying if we don't tax the rich, then I got to increase property taxes. We are not a pawn in Southeast Queens. We are not part of your negotiation tactics. Zohran Mamdani, you are out your goddamn mind.
All right, so shout out to my man. Shout out to them out there in Queens, New York City, Cambria Heights. Shout out to them. What they're saying, right on point. It's like, look, man, just do your job, but don't touch the taxes. These are working class people, homeowners in Queens. These are not like your rich people. These are not your Manhattan, shiny suit, big ring, big watch. That's not them. Those types, many of them, their kids may have voted for Zohran Mamdani. But these people are not going to be Mamdani voters. They're probably going to be Cuomo voters. And again, I'm no Cuomo fan, but he would have been better than Mamdani, obviously. It's not even really something to, that should be discussed, in my humble opinion. But that's what's happening out there in New York City. Now, this is a really good video. Shout out to @mybest197 on Instagram. Welby, shout out to you, bro. You got really good content, and I want everybody to follow you. He is a real estate investor from New York. I believe he's also in New York or in the surrounding area. So he has property. He's a landlord. Yes, he has quite a few properties. And he's telling people, hey, if you raise taxes, all you're going to do is have the landlord pass that expense down to their tenant. It's just what it is. Okay, you own property. Now you got to pay a 9.5% property tax increase. Well, guess what? They're not going to take that hit on the chin. They're going to pass that hit down to the tenant. Let's watch.
A bunch of people asked me if Zohran Mamdani raises property taxes 9% like he said that he would, how would I feel? My response to them is, oh, well, I'm not the one that's going to be paying for it. You will. Everybody was excited voting for the new mayor, Zohran Mamdani. Tax them landlords, make them pay. Okay, but let's slow this down. If Zohran Mamdani actually pushes and makes it happen, this 9% tax increase on property taxes, who do you think is going to actually pay for it? You think these property owners are going to simply take the hit and say, no worries about it, we're going to take the hit out of love? If my property taxes go up, if my expenses go up, simply what's going to happen is that it's going to get passed down to the tenant. This is not politics. This is business. This is math. Some of you guys that are renters are saying that's y'all problem. Nobody told you guys to become landlords. But when insurance went up, rents went up. When the cost of materials went up, rents went up. When interest rates went up, rents went up. So what exactly do you think is going to happen if property taxes go up? Exactly. There's no such things as free programs. There's no free funding. If the city has a deficit, they have to find the money somewhere. And if Zohran Mamdani can't print it, one way or another, he's going to find a way to collect it. And if he chooses to collect it from property owners, I promise you it's not going to stay there. I hope everybody gets exactly what they voted for, because policies feel good during campaign season, but real estate operates on numbers, and numbers don't care about how you feel.
All right, there we go. So again, that's at mybest197 on social media, Instagram specifically. His name is Welby. Give him a follow. Tell him I sent you. Really, 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 really good content creator. Really good guy. Shout out to him. Now, all what he said right there was right on point. It's right on point. Landlords, property owners who have tenants in their homes they will not just eat that 9.5% property tax increase. They're not going to eat it. They're going to pass it down to the tenant. Now, some are going to come in here with the big brain and say, well, ABL, listen, there's between 2 and 2.5 million New Yorkers in rent-controlled apartments. So what about that? The rent is frozen, rent's controlled. They can't raise the rent. Well, if for some reason the rent cannot be raised, what you're going to see is a reduction in quality of your service. Repairs are going to be slower. It's going to be a little bit shoddy. Overall, the quality of the home is going to deteriorate. Have you seen these so-called rent-controlled places? You're talking about rats, the biggest cats. Look, I done seen rats as big as some kind of like they got some kind of new rodent out there, some kind of super rat. Like the rat be eating toxic ooze, like the turtles. Toxic ooze, the rat's been eating in the rent-controlled apartment. Zohran himself went to a rent-controlled apartment and it was disgusting. Exposed pipes, bathroom was a mess, just from a lack of maintenance. What will happen if you make it that much more expensive for the landlords to operate? They're going to have every corner possible cut and or raise the rent. It's very simple. So very good video. Shout out to him. All right. Now let's keep on rocking and rolling here. The time is going so quick. It's already almost 10:30. That's crazy. I got a lot more I want to show. Let me show, where am I going to go here? Okay. This is going to be about Los Angeles. Okay. Karen Bass says they didn't pave 60 streets. Or they didn't pave 60 miles of streets, but that's kind of a drop in the bucket. If you've been to LA, it's a sprawling, just, I don't know what to call it. It sprawls. There's not a lot of tall buildings. It's just rows and rows. It's just pavement as far as the eye can see. All right. Pothole. And trash everywhere, but that's a different story. And the bad areas and the nice areas is beautiful. Let's watch.
Potholes are an issue now, especially since it has rained and we've seen so many of them. What are you going to do about it?
That's right. Well, and let me just tell you, we are fixing them. And in the last 3 months, we fixed over 10,000 potholes. And in the last couple of weeks, we fixed almost 300. So we are going to continue doing that and until all the potholes are fixed. And what we're doing here is asking people to report on 311. When they see a pothole, because we certainly don't want cars damaged or people to be, have difficulty with that.
Now, we saw you fill a pothole with asphalt here just a few minutes ago, and you're encouraging people to call 311, but guess what? We know people, I work with people who've called 311, nothing happened, the pothole was never repaired. They called several times over a couple of months. Yes. What do you have to say?
Let's go back to the road, though. Do you see this road? The overall road condition is poor. You could put a pothole right there, but truthfully, you need to dig up the whole road and repave it. Am I tripping, or is that what needs to happen? Patching up, it's like you have a broken flower vase and you're trying to like put tape on it. It's like, well, how about just getting a new vase? It's broken. You got cracks everywhere.
Encouraging people to call 311, but guess what? We know people, I work with people who've called 311, nothing happened, the pothole was never repaired. They called several times over a couple of months. Yes. What do you have to say about that?
Let me just tell you that in the last 2 months, 3 months, we have fixed over 10,000. We have a lot more to fix, but I think this is a reflection of decades of lack of investment in our infrastructure, and we are definitely addressing that.
You talk about that. I mean, we spend so much less here in LA than other cities do. For example, New York or San Diego, San Francisco. And we haven't repaved a single city street here since last summer.
Well, let me just say that we have much more we need to do, which is why I've been developing a comprehensive infrastructure plan. Again, this is a situation that has existed for a very long time, and we are absolutely addressing it. We need to invest more in our infrastructure, and that is something that we are definitely going to do.
Okay, so there's more to that. It's kind of long, but I might play a little bit. I might do like a separate video on that. So that's LA for you. These streets, I mean, when I was in LA a few times, I don't know. It's just the interstate ugly, real ugly. The interstates here in Tennessee, Georgia, much better than California, than LA specifically. Ugly. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's like, you know, because they have so much traffic. I don't know what's going on. Now, speaking about ugly in Los Angeles, this is what someone built. Hold on. A homeless man built this domicile, this dwelling for himself. Okay. This is a homeless guy who built this. You're talking about, you're looking like, you know, sub-Saharan Africa, looking like some parts of India. You're looking like, you know, third world country for real. When you have a little shanty town starting to develop with little things from scraps you find and you build a home. Let's watch.
This motherfucker straight built a house. He said, homeless what? Look at this shit. Got a door, second floor, the bottom part's half a mobile home. They got a dog house outside. What the fuck? Homeless ain't fucking around in Compton. Shit.
So there we go. That's now what happens when this parking lot has another one of those, 3 of them, 4 of them. Before you know it, you're going to have a bunch of stuff like this. When they begin to tear down some of these old neighborhoods that have been abandoned. Okay, well, not really. It's still California. But if there's an area where there's an abandoned home and it gets torn down, doesn't get replaced immediately, then it could be a home right on that property or somewhere close to it. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I've never in my life seen a thing like that in person. Like a real shantytown type establishment in person. Not in real life. Hey, how much is it going for? A bit about like 600,000. Hey, if you want to go house hunting in California and your budget is like 600,000, 650, there you go right there. Okay, we got a nice front entrance, a couple little steps. Okay, you got a beautiful bay window up top. Okay, a nice open floor plan inside. Yeah, that'd be 675 all cash. We got multiple offers, so put your bid in right now. All right, let's keep on going here. Now, here's a good point from Adam Carolla about Los Angeles. Because liberals always talk about how good their policies are, how they have superior policies to conservatives. Yet, all I ever hear about are people moving from California to conservative places like Tennessee. They're in Nashville deep. They're here in Chattanooga too. I see where y'all at. Y'all be over there in Fort O. I see y'all. Don't worry about it. They're all over the country in red states rather than staying in their blue state utopia or going to the next blue state over. They want to come to red states. It's cheaper. Well, it's not just that it's cheaper. It's that it's a better place to live. And being cheaper is an effect of being better. Okay, let's watch this. Let's get some sound. Let's start from the top.
LA is about as blue as you can get. It is as democratic as you can really make a city. Shouldn't all the Democrats that live in other places be flocking to LA because that's their goal, that's their dream, like that's what they wanted? Like there are plenty of people who go, I'm moving to Florida because I like Ron DeSantis, I like the way he runs his state, I'm a Republican, and that's what I want, so I'm going there. Why isn't every Democrat in the United States making active plans to relocate to the place that is run by Democrats completely. It should be a utopia for you, except for it's a piece of shit. That's the rub. Like if you said to an alien, you go, look, we got Republicans, we got and then Democrats. Forget it. Let's just go blue and red or whatever. And they go, what's the bluest of the blue? The bluest of the blue is Los Angeles. That's everybody in charge thinks like the blue people. So then they'd go, oh, well then it must be all the blue people are dying to live there, right? No, they're leaving.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't get it. I thought they were the blue people.
Or they spend 6 months and 1 day somewhere else.
Right. No, they're moving to the red place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait a minute. They're the blue people. No, I know, but they want to live. They want to have a good life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well then wait a minute. Why does anyone ever vote for the blue people? The blue people don't even want to live with the blue people. So all you have to do when you're trying to figure out what's a better way to govern is just go, all right, well, let's just take Los Angeles, or let's just take Florida, or take California, take Florida, or Texas, or Tennessee sometimes, or whatever, or Chicago, whatever, and go, well, what city's not run right? What city's a piece of shit? What city where are people leaving and where are they going? That's all. And if you're talking to an alien, they would immediately arrive at a conclusion that wherever they're going to that's the way to run a city versus the place they're leaving.
Common sense, right? Basic common sense. If people are leaving a place, and not just California, they're leaving Chicago, they're leaving New York, and it's been going on for a while now. And California is so bad, they're losing House reps because it's population based. I mean, people still live there. It's still millions upon millions of Americans in California, and a lot of people love it, but it's enough of an issue. People are leaving. They're leaving the paradise of California and going somewhere else. And they're not headed to another blue place. If the blue policies made sense, then they would go to another blue place, but they're not. They're going to the red places. Very simple. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling here. Let's keep rocking and rolling. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, now hold on. This is going to be, I'm going to play this video, then I'm going to play another one. Pardon me, I'm kind of like low on time. I got a whole nother show right here, but I don't got enough time. Okay, now, this is a good video about Trump, what he's been doing, and how, quote unquote, racist he is or isn't. Let's watch.
Boy, that Donald Trump, man, ain't he something else? Yeah, y'all know President Trump, the one y'all be calling racist all the time. Man, did y'all see him the other day taking pictures with black people? You can't get no more racist than that. I mean, he actually touching black people. I can't. I mean, that's real racist. All up in the restaurant giving compliments to black people, getting in between them and stuff and taking pictures, laughing and telling jokes with black people. Bruh, that is some type of racism. I tell you, I can't believe this racist what he doing. And then the racist had the audacity the other day to have black people inviting them over to the White House to have a Black History program. And did you see the grandma that was up there talking to the racist? The black grandma that was actually defending the racist? Can y'all believe it? That's so funny. Then had the audacity to tell people to back up off him and let him do his job. Then guess what the racist did? He had the audacity to lean in and kiss the black grandma on the cheek. Now that's racist. 10 toes down, fully racist. Then Jesse Jackson passed away, God rest his soul. And the racist put out a tweet giving condolences to Jesse Jackson family. And then he stood up, the racist stood up and said that Jesse Jackson was a good man and he really liked him. The racist did that. Child, if that's racism, David Duke owe us an apology. Because Donald Trump is doing the true racism, baby. Loving on black people the way he doing. Let me tell y'all something. A true racist wouldn't even want to touch a black person's hand. A true racist wouldn't pass any type of legislation to help black people. He would keep them in chains. A true racist would say stuff like, you ain't black if you don't vote Democrat. keeping you on the plantation and such. Catch it. That's my president. The racist. That's my president.
There we go. So shout out to her. Very, very well said. Very well said. And, hold on, let me get a good freeze frame.
Funny.
The thing about it, we see so much evidence of Trump not being a racist. It's crazy. We see so much evidence, but the mainstream media will refuse to listen. Those who refuse to see him as anything other than racist will refuse to listen. As demoralization. And with these people who are demoralized, when you show them evidence, video, pictures, everything, eyewitness statements, we can show them all this evidence in real time, in person. It don't matter because they've already made their mind up. They've already been convinced that he is a racist, that he is a bad person. And there's no convincing them of anything else. Again, facts, evidence, everything right in front of their face. They refuse to listen. They refuse to believe it. And they'll just stay in their mind state that Trump is a racist person. Very simple, but shout out to her. Very good video. Okay, now this is going to be Trump at the Varsity Restaurant in Rome, Georgia. That's part of the video that she showed. This was Trump the other day. I think this might have been Thursday that he was there. This is Thursday because shout out to my guy that called in and was saying he's going to be there on Thursday. Yeah. So he went to the Varsity Restaurant in Rome, Georgia. Okay. And I was down there by that way on that day. And it was a crazy accident. I don't know what happened. Maybe some protester didn't know where he was going. Anyway, let's watch some of this.
45 years. 24 years. You're too young for that. Come on, wait. I'll get a Let's get a good one. My president right there. Come on. The board of the cash register.
So, where's the racism? Whenever I see Trump go out, he's embraced by the people. It doesn't matter, black, white, whatever. He's embraced by the actual people. You can see in this restaurant, you got black folks, white folks, whatever. Okay, the true heartbeat of America right there in the restaurant, and everybody's like, hey, that's my president. I love my president. But if you turn on television, it's Donald Trump's a racist. Donald Trump's this. Donald Trump that. Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. That's TV for you, which is why you guys got to watch alternative news media like myself and others. All right, let's keep going here. Now, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. Now, my time is so limited. Hold on. I want to be very selective with what I put on here. All right. I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to... Am I going to show... Oh, this one. Okay. If you guys didn't see it, this is the reenactment of the Renee Nicole Good and Alex Pretty shooting. Now, I was reading comments on this video, and somebody said that these are like really trained people, and they probably got paid a pretty penny. This is in front of the Trump Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. Somebody or some people paid for this production for them to reenact the shootings of Renee Nicole Good and Alex Pretty. I'm going to turn the sound off because it's just random music. Now, what they're doing right here, they're creating the car. And remember, Renee Nicole Good had a maroon colored car. That's why they got in the maroon colored clothing. So they are the car. Okay. And then that's supposed to be Renee Nicole Good with the white shirt on and the red hoodie. The white hoodie, red collar. And then they go to ICE agent. I don't know what he's supposed to be doing. Okay, and then I guess you got shot right there in the car. Well, the car should have been moving. Hey, you know what? Y'all got to pay all that money to go out there and do this interpretive dance. Make the car move. Put a motor on it. Okay, do that. That makes more sense. So then, okay, she did. She's an angel now. Okay, cool. There we go. All right, black dude. Bro, what are you doing there? Walmart Tavius. Bro. Man, I'm about to call your grandma. I be like, look, Miss Gladys, yeah, your grandson up here acting the fool with these white people, man. You better come get him. Bro, what are you doing? Anyway, I'm being racist. I'm sorry. Okay, so now they are dismantling the car, and here comes the Alex Pretty interpretation. All right, and he's out there wrestling with the ICE agent, and they're wrestling. Okay, and that's the interpretation right there that they want to show. Now they could have kept the car. Him falling out like that is hilarious. Hold on, can we run that back? They could have kept the car, maybe changed color for it to be the ICE agent car that he kicked. And then they got out and then they just rocked him up a little bit. They could have showed that from the other day, but nope, they want to show this. You know what? I've seen that kind of animation before. I've seen that before where somebody was dying. Not a human being, but have you ever had a roach in your house and you sprayed it with Raid, like right on it? Psh, a dead shot right on the roach. Or a bee. If you ever got that hot shot with the bees, you know, you'd be on the porch in the South, summertime, here come the bee. You get that hot shot. Hey, if my grandma got it, she gonna hit it right on it. Hey, anyway, that's kind of how it looked right there. You got hit with that Raid. See? There we go. Bro, I don't know how much I got paid to do this, but please, let's not do that no more. Let's not do that anymore, okay? Let's let it continue. Yeah, expressive dance is what it is. And then we're going to just do this little routine, little music video type routine, Grammy Award type stuff. Hey, you know what would be really funny? If they did this at an award show. Okay, and then that's them. They did. It came back from the dead. And then they just, okay, where we going? We going to heaven? Is that what's happening? Okay. There we go. The reenactment of Rachel Nicole Good and Alex Pretty getting deleted by ICE, Border Patrol, or whatever. So there we go. Okay, let's keep going here. I have no more time. Good grief. I got so much I want to show. I got to save some of this for the next time. Okay, I'm going to play these two, and then I got to get to some calls. Now, the women of The View, I gotta show The View. They, I think, all got caught in the Epstein files. You know, the Epstein files is the biggest nothing burger I've seen in a long time. It is a huge nothing burger. It uses the weapon to strike those that someone doesn't like. Okay, I don't like you. You were in Epstein files. You're a bad person. Meanwhile, people that they do like who are in the Epstein files, oh, well, that's different because they didn't do anything wrong. They were just in there a few times. They were on a plane and went to the island, but they didn't do anything wrong. Oh, okay. The Epstein files mention only hurts who you don't like already, for the most part. That's pretty much what I've been seeing. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so, for the most part. Some are just across the board, but that's not the majority of those who are reacting to the Epstein file situation. Let's check it out.
List because we were at a party or a wedding or something that somebody might have been. That's what I found out anyway.
Yeah, no,
I was at Trump's wedding to Marla.
Right.
Maybe Epstein was there too. Who knows?
I don't know.
So that means that I'm not guilty, obviously, but these other ones, how are you going to decide who's really guilty and who's not?
Well, I think it's
tricky.
I think it's very clear because if you look, you know why my name is there. Because someone was looking for a plane, and that's what people do. They go to all the people who have private planes and say, do you have one?
And you didn't get on the plane.
I didn't get on the plane. I didn't know they were looking for a plane.
Yeah.
I had no idea that the plane that I was supposed to be on was no longer available. So I'm named in there like...
So Joy Behar's on there, Whoopi Goldberg's on there. They're all on there. But it's fine though, right? Because they're The View. It's okay. Oh, okay. I just want to know that we're on the same page with this because... the Epstein file thing, I've been told y'all, is nothing burger. Please leave it alone. Ain't nothing there. Because I knew this would be the reaction. Well, I was just on there, but I didn't do anything. And they're probably telling the truth. The problem is that they use the Epstein files mention against those they don't like, although they're in the same exact boat as them. They're mentioning the files that they didn't do anything wrong. See how that works? You can't use that against someone when they didn't do anything wrong and then say that it can't be done to you. What's fair is fair, right? Or wrong?
Whoopi Goldberg is needs a plan.
But there are a lot of people that are
Marilyn Monroe is on the list.
Yes.
There were plenty of people that were there are plenty of
Elvis
people
also.
named in
Yeah.
the list that may have not done anything wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that there are a lot of people that are on that list that are guilty
Yes,
of wrongdoing.
indeed.
And
Yes.
I have no confidence, unfortunately. It gives me no pleasure to see
Well,
this. But I don't
let
have
me
any confidence
let me say
that
it
the
like
Justice
this.
Department's
I
gonna do
think
anything.
that
Why do
they
they
are going
reject-
to hold on,
Yeah.
Joy. I think they are going to. They're going to do it like how you eat around an apple till you get to the core.
Yes.
I think that's how they're going to do it. They're going to.
Okay, blah, 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 Whoopi Goldberg and everybody on there mentioning the Epstein files. So it's cool when you guys are in the Epstein files, but not when anybody else is. And nobody else gets this treatment of trying to go through it and figure out what happened. That's not very nice, Whoopi Goldberg. I'll tell you what. Okay. I got one more here. Here goes Don Lemon again. He won't go away. It's that bad rash. It won't go away, right? So here he is saying that the people in the church were racist against him because he's black. You cannot make this up. Let's watch this, please. And there is Jim Acosta, CNN Sucks.
You say in the video, I'm here as a journalist. I'm here covering this. That's what I'm doing. We play the video. You say it,
Not part of the group. I'm just here photographing. I'm a journalist.
I'm a journalist.
Yeah.
I'm here photographing.
Numerous
what part of
times.
that do people not understand?
I don't know. It's weird because they kept saying it even when I told them that I'm not. And I think they were looking at me, and because the bulk of the protesters were black, maybe they thought because I'm black, and I kept saying, I'm not a protester. I'm here covering the protest. I'm not with them. And they were, they just, for some reason, could not understand. And I had to keep telling them that I'm not part of the group. I'm just here photographing, and I would say chronicling or whatever it is. And that's it, Jim. So why they couldn't figure that out, I don't know. And
you say in the video.
Now look, Don Lemon, please be serious. Please be serious, bro. You were antagonizing people the same as the protesters. It was no different. You were the same as that guy, the woke farmer, going in there with a camera and saying things to people that was harmful, things that were negative, things that upset people. You were part of the group, and you withheld information that you knew about them going to the church on camera. You kissed the organizer of the protest on camera. You called her by her name. You knew her. You were part of the group. You can say you were a journalist, and that's fine. That does not give you carte blanche to do whatever you want to do. That's not how that works. If, like I said before, if you knew it was going to be a bank robbery, they told you, and you concealed the bank robbery, you go to the place during the robbery that you knew was going to happen. You didn't tell the authorities. You didn't tell nobody. You concealed it from people. You go in there and then say, hey, how's it feel to get robbed? Hey, you know what? Don't worry about getting robbed because this is not your money. This is stolen money. You're on stolen land. Okay, that makes you part of the robbery. You gotta go to the penitentiary as well as they do. You can't just say I'm a journalist so I can be part of this. That's not the way it works, bro. That is not the way it works at all. But since he's dumb like that, and you know what? If I'm the federal government, here's what I would do with Don Lemon. I would like, look, Don, what you did, we know you didn't know any better, but what you did was illegal. So don't go on TV no more talking about it, and don't do it again. And you're still going to be punished for what you did. And matter of fact, I might not even tell him to stop doing it. I would just give him a punishment, and then he learn that way. Learn the hard way. That's what I would say. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good. So that helps tremendously. Okay. Super chats on deck. Then we're going to get to some calls because my time is limited. Thank you to Apple who says, ABL, is your family in Virginia paying big bucks in electricity? How's the community's reaction to Democrat Virginia governor raising electricity prices? Well, yeah, it's going to go up. It's going to go up, and people are not too happy with it. But if you voted for Abigail Spanberger, then it is what it is. Okay, shout out to Ron Henderson who says, bad news, bears, bye-bye. That's right. Thank you to Iron Spider who says, it's the gummy bears. Thank you to Man Under Face who says, hey, Anthony, haven't been able to contribute in a while, but today I can. Been watching you for 10 years or so. Keep it up, and all love for all Americans. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for that. Shout out to you, OG viewer. I appreciate it. Thank you to Rock Hound who says, sounds like someone is taking talking sedition. That is right. Thank you to Ryan Anderson who says, I'm a black American, the true American who lives in America. God bless this nation. Right on. Same to all. Thank you to Ryan Anderson who says these kids need to be protesting. Or these kids don't need to be protesting. They need to be in school learning about our country and how it works. That's right. Thank you to it's Rebecca who says 100% of YNs interviewed via YouTube, TikTok, etc. during election chose Trump. Shout out to Ron Henderson that says the Democrats are evil people. They always wish bad on somebody and their country. That's right. Thank you to Ron Henderson that says I want reparations from the tamales who stole all of our money. Give me back my tax dollars. That's right. Thank you to Dan Vicious who says, did you see the trailer for the Is God Is movie? No, I've not seen that. Thank you to Tito who says, ABL, you are right about the no driver's license, no insurance, no registration, causing insurance premiums to go up. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's just one more way we pay for the migrant crisis indirectly. Okay, but then they say it's a good thing for us. I can't tell how. All we're doing is paying more for everything. And what do we get out of that? What is benefit to paying more for everything? Not just food, housing, insurance, everything. Thank you to Ron Henderson who says the only thing Zohran can raise is your taxes. Thank you to Lindsay who says, why not dance like a truck and roll over legal citizen? Thank you to Joshua who says the View, just an hour of cackling hens. Correct. Thank you to Lothair who says the ladies in the View have no room to talk. I've read the Epstein files and they're disgusting. They are worse than the presidents. All righty, there we go. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate you rocking and rolling. Let's get to some calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. And let me turn the phone lines on. The phone lines are ready to rock. Again, 706-406-3287. The number is always in the description box. And also when I took it right below the screen, on the screen. Let's go to 860. Get in line. Who am I speaking to?
Anthony, Tiffany Ranger Xbox. How you doing, my brother from another mother?
I'm well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, pretty good. I was thinking, so since I went and did some thinking, I thought I'd scare you.
Okay, what's going on?
I figured out how we could put a shock collar on the Senate and Congress.
How we going to do that?
Wake them up to the reality of who they work for.
Okay.
Well, everybody would have to study up and read a convention of states. Then we'd have to responsibly choose a representative for the convention of states, because what we're going to do is open up the Constitution. In the Constitution, we're going to put in where each political party will have their own campaign bank. All politicians will have to have their money for their campaigns managed by their campaign bank. If they lose their campaign, their party, because they're so dedicated to the cause, gets to keep their campaign money. They don't get to keep it in the retirement. That's what I got for you, brother. God bless America. Keep doing what you're doing. Bye.
All right, shout out for a call. Most certainly appreciate it. Okay, let's go to the next call. Let's go to 859 your line. I'm speaking to.
All right. It's your Luciferian Libertarian friend, Anton Levy, a combination of Homie Omelette. Sorry, I'm just a bit tongue-tied this first calling. How's it going, ABL?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
All right. I was watching your show, and I made that comment about The View. Joey Behar and Whoopi, oh, my God. Like, reading through this whole FC file, it's just like a psychological profile of, like, every serial killer for the last, I don't know, God knows when. It's crazy.
So what did they do specifically?
Whoopi was allegedly, was having time with Jeffrey, like relationship-wise. And Whoopi, a lot of the people in The View, I don't want to be too graphic, but they mentioned cheese pizza and jerky a lot.
So was this like a tip that came in from somebody, or like where's the allegation coming from?
It's the J files. I'm reading through all the J files and the emails, and that they're talking like every president from 1989. he is talked to. Like, I've been going through this thing, and you're right, you're not wrong. There's a lot of people on the left that be like, Trump, 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 Trump. People completely ignored the conversations with Obama and Epstein. They completely ignore that. This is giving out sensitive information of a person who's supposedly, unquote, is a Mossad agent. Why is Obama talking about nuclear weapons and nuclear stuff through emails with a supposed accused Assad agent?
Hey, I have no clue.
It's shady. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. After reading all this whole thing, I think every one of our presidents has literally backstabbed the United States, including Trump, but he wasn't the worst of it. Literally every president has been worse than him on these Epstein files. Literally. And I'm just saying, I'm just going through these things. It's some secret society stuff. It's like eyes wide shut stuff. I can never imagine. We need to tell Alex Jones and apologize to Alex Jones because he sounded crazy and reading through these files. Well, is he so crazy?
Now, I got a question, though. Are these allegations or are there concrete evidences to what you're saying?
There are emails back and forth, and granted, they're not exactly concrete evidence, but it's weird. There's a lot of connections. There's a lot of conversations, and Prince Andrew's got arrested for all these pictures and evidence and stuff. It's very questionable. This guy was literally into Congress, and his writing was atrocious at the same time.
Well, hey, we'll see what happens. Probably nothing.
Yeah, people say it's a nothing burger, but like after listen, we disagree and agree on certain things. I'm not Ivan who screams and yells and throws a tantrum and acts like a child. And I voted for Trump in 2016. I wanted a better economy. I view the border issue as a major issue involving human trafficking and murder. I view that was a big, huge problem. I voted for Trump in 2016 because of these issues. And seeing these things coming out now, it makes me question a lot of things. And thank you very much for taking my phone call, ABL. Much love to you. Peace out, bro.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, I want to take a blinker. You guys enjoy one. Much love.
I thank you for the call. All righty. Shout out to him for the calls. Keep on going. Let's go to 215 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Anthony, can you hear me?
I hear you well.
All right, so I wanted to say real quick. So I like when Trump is getting ready, what's going on between Donald Trump and Iran. Honestly, I stand behind Trump no matter what, because honestly, in my opinion, he knows what's best, and he always makes the best decisions. And if not always the best, but I feel like he's the best person for the job. Like, he's really good with foreign policy and domestic policy, foreign policy.
Right. Okay. I'm with you.
Yeah. And it's like one thing a lot of people is like, I like how a lot of people say, hype up, oh, we're going to get drafted. Oh, World War III might jump off X, Y, and Z like they did last year when Iran's nuclear facilities were bombed. They said a draft might happen, but I had to do some Google research, and they said a draft is less likely to happen because there'd be too much public backlash. They need people who are like experienced in certain fields. You're going to get a lot of inexperienced people out in the military. And it was another reason. But yeah, those are the main two reasons I remember off the top of my head is that you're going to get a lot of people who are inexperienced in the military out in the fields. What do you think about that?
I mean, the thing about it is, if you're talking about military guys, they need training anyway, don't they? Basically, boot camp, they're going to need training before they go out there, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's going to be the same. That ain't going to be no different.
Yeah, that makes sense. But as far as but I like how everybody thinks it's going to be like 2003 Iraq all over again. And honestly, I disagree with that because I feel like with the Iraq war, the reason why it took 20 years, I think it went how it was supposed to go. The military industrial complex got involved and they just wanted to milk it as much as they can, profit off of the war as much as they can. Until Donald Trump got in the White House.
Right, exactly. That was the whole, military industrial complex going. They were just getting money. and doing like nation
Yeah.
building and things of this nature that wasn't really going the way that it probably should have.
Yeah, and the thing about it was like with Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama, they were all in on it too with the nation building. But people forget that Donald Trump, when he first got elected in 2016, he can't be controlled because he can't be bought out. And it seemed like a lot of people forgot about that, especially on the right wing and the conservative movement. They obviously forgot that Donald Trump can't be bought out.
Right, of course. They forgot about that. But I think that he was able to remind people of that fact during his time in office.
Yeah. And one more thing before I don't want to take up too much time. I also, despite all the hype of the Epstein files, I recently did some research on all the positive things that Donald Trump has done that's not being talked about in the news. And the one thing that I saw is him and Melania Trump signed an executive order that said fostering our future. So people who are in foster care, it's like a system they have set up for nonprofit organizations to help them get on their feet and help them get resources to transition out of foster care.
Hey, it sounds great to me. Sounds fantastic. But of course, it won't get any positive press for that.
Yeah, and it's like you don't hear about, all you hear about is Epstein. Epstein, like you said, it's a distraction because foster care, people with foster care, you're giving them resources, and the Trump administration is helping them get resources to transition out of foster care so they can be independent.
Well, that's very good.
Yeah, I'm gonna report that on my TikTok. But thanks for taking my call, ABL.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, you have a good night.
Same to you. All right, let's go to you online, 314.
This is Richard. I wanted to get your opinion on immigration.
Okay.
So my question is basically the way, would you agree that the problem that a lot of people had, maybe even yourself, with the illegal immigration, people coming over, illegal aliens, whatever you want to refer to them as, is that these people come over from different countries that have completely different cultural systems, they have completely different religions that would be counterintuitive to our founding Protestant liberty principles?
Well, not really. That's not the reason why I would say that I'm against illegal immigration. I mean, that's part of it, I suppose, but not the deciding factor. The issue is that they're here illegally and they consume a bunch of resources. That's the main thing. It doesn't really matter where they're from, that they're here illegally and they consume resources. So we got issues with resources in America. We're trying to battle for resources among just regular American citizens. So bringing in a bunch of new people illegally, battling for resources is a bad thing. Now, the religious part and the customs part, that's another problem, but it's not the chief problem, in my humble opinion.
Okay, well then, what I guess I would ask is, I believe Trump wanted to, or he had stated that he wanted to, through H-1B visas, bring in over 300-something thousand Indian nationals and over 600,000 Chinese nationals. And these people would be going to our tech universities, et cetera, and would be essentially placed into our institutions like Google, Apple, things like this that control our media and social media apparatuses. And my issue that I think is that these people, if they're not assimilating and they come over here, they're on visas, if they're given the ability to vote because they're here legally and they're not assimilated to our principles, then wouldn't they vote against our foundational system that we have?
Okay, so if you're here on a visa, can you vote?
In some places you can, in some Democrat cities.
Well, you can't actually. You got to be a citizen. You can't vote. So that's number one. And number two, I don't think he's talking about bringing in new people. I think that was the existing numbers.
So you don't see an issue with having Chinese nationals or Indian nationals in these different institutions like Google, Apple, these systems where people get their information from?
Well, they're already here. It's not anything new. So it's like, what do you do? Okay, so here's my take on it. It's not an issue because it's already been happening. It's not anything new. So if it was an issue, it would have already crept up a long time ago. So he's not proposing, from what I was able to read, new people. This is kind of already what exists. And I think what we should do in this country, if we don't want to rely upon some of them to bolster our social media platforms, we got to just produce more of them here. That's the bottom line.
Okay. So then you said that you're mostly concerned, I guess, about people coming over here illegally. You said, right?
Yes, because they're breaking the law. And the thing about it, if we're going to be Americans we are a nation of laws, we must follow laws. Then we all need to be held accountable equally, and it shouldn't be them getting preferential treatment over us as American citizens.
Okay. Well, so essentially, from my understanding, the way our Constitution set up, we're allowed to make amendments, right, that can essentially amend a prior amendment of the Constitution and essentially do away with it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if you don't have a problem with people coming over here legally, so you wouldn't have a problem, let's say, if we allowed people to legally come over here from, let's say, Muslim nations, given their reproductive rates completely outnumber ours, and then within just 100 years, they completely outnumber us, and then they would have control of the institutions, voting power, and they could amend the Constitution in such a way to where it's completely null and void. You wouldn't have an issue with that because they're doing that legally?
Well, okay, you're misconstruing what I'm saying. My thing is, I did say that the customs of people would be an issue, but it's not the chief issue. So I'm not saying it would be okay. I'm just saying the bigger problem, in my opinion, is the illegality and the resource battling. There are other issues, but it's not my chief issue.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm asking, because I'm granting that if they come over here legally. So the legal part's taken care of.
You're not listening. You're not listening to what I'm saying. I just answered your question. Like, I know what you're saying. You're saying that they're coming here legally. So since it's legal, then I have no problem. But you're not listening to what I said. What I said was my chief complaint is the illegality, but there are other issues like the religion and their customs.
Okay, so do you think that we should possibly change our immigration policies to, affect where people come from?
Okay, you're asking me the same question in a variety of ways. So this is what I'm going to tell you. I understand what you're trying to say about different places being different, better. My thing would be, if you're going to have legal immigration, let's have legal immigration. Let's let there be a vetting process. Are you going to be benefit to the country? Are you going to be able to work? Are you going to be, it's just like what they did with that one kid that was here, or that adult that was here on the college campus. Okay, he's over there he's on the college campus doing whatever, and we find out that he's doing something that is against what we want in America. He is encouraging seditious behavior, so we kicked him out. That'll be how that go. People, people got to get monitored when they come here. If they need to be monitored when they come here, and they need to come here legally, and a legal process would hopefully vet out a lot of. Can I finish, please?
Well, I just wanted to.
Can I please finish, sir?
Oh, go ahead.
Now, hopefully, the legal process would vet out a lot of your bad actors, because they're going to exist all over this world. And the bad actor trait should also include some of their habits they had back in their country of origin. Hope that helps.
I guess in a way, it just seems kind of post hoc, because you're saying that basically after they come over here, then monitor them to see
You're not listening.
what they're going to do.
You're not listening. But have a good night.
I am. Is that what
you're getting on my nerves now? Now I'm starting to get offended. It's like you're not listening to what I'm saying. I keep repeating myself. I don't like repeating myself that much. Honestly, what he was trying to say, it's like you don't want people to come over here and do the wrong thing. I get it. But that's why you have a legal system to vet people. Like, it's very simple. Don't keep asking me the same question 15 times in a row like you didn't do that. All right. Nah, don't dang ABL me. Don't dang ABL me. That dude asked me that same question 5 times in a row. I mean, good grief. Calling on speaker 310.
Hey, ABL, this is Ron from Georgia. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Another big day. Yeah, some people just don't want to get it. Our immigration policy, man, I tell you, we need to go back to the way post the 60s when Ted Kennedy changed a lot of things for us in our immigration. There used to be some standards established, and like I said, there was a period of time where we only allowed so many people for like 15 years period. It takes time for the people to assimilate to our culture. This is America. you're supposed to assimilate to our culture. But what we have here and what we got going today, with a lot of people are trying to influence our nation to be changing our culture to their culture. No, you came from your culture to our culture. You need to assimilate to our culture. This is America. We have liberty and justice and freedom for all, but you have to be loyal to this nation. And that's why I don't like the fact that when people have dual citizenship, you're either a citizen of Iraq or you're a citizen of America. Once you become a citizen, that means you're loyal to our nation. You're not trying to destroy our nation. What we have here today, we have a lot of people who are not loyal to our nation, who wants to go ahead and try to change our nation. And we even have citizens who are born of our nation who don't know, don't understand, who don't love our country. And that's why they're out hooting and holler and ripping and raving and want to change our nation into some type of socialist utopia, which doesn't exist. And look at New York and look at California, which I fled from 11 years ago. You know, I tell you, no, these people today. We need to get to the point that we need to establish our laws. That's our immigration laws. It's before ICE. There was the immigration natural society, whatever it was, NIS. They were the ones that was doing the immigration laws before ICE. But in any case, you can't abandon that. There are laws that we have to, that is established, and all we need to do is follow. And the people who are stopping, like the mayors and the governors who come against, like I said, federal authority. Federal authority supersedes the state, and the city authority is the overarch of our nation. And we are the federals are supposed to protect our nation. That's from within our nation and foreign invaders that's coming from out. We were invaded the last 4 years. It was an open invasion, and Biden and his administration put it upon our nation. And all the Dems and the socialists, they were rooting for that. And now that we're coming against that, we're stopping their money, you know, that's being thrown out of our cities. Like I said, hey, you know, give us our reparation back from the Somali embargo that they did onto our nation. You know, the tax dollars that was stolen and everything, and sent off to the waves, and all these other monies that we got being pilfered all over our society today. No, these people need to be. That's why they're raving mad. That's why they want to continue to try to hold up things. You know, because we stopped the money funnel. But Newsom, him too. You know, what are you doing over there? How they go ahead and prancing around talking about how good they did things over in California? No, you're not doing anything good over there. The people are suffering. The people are suffering, but the thing about it is that the people that are suffering so bad that they don't even know they're suffering. They're in a trance. They're stuck. They're mentally stuck, and the thing about it, they're spiritually stuck. It's a war going on, brother, and it's deeper than what we can establish. I tell you, but it's war in the heavens going on. But I tell you, you know, we fight that type of war. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. You know, and people like mine is doing. Neology do work, and I tell you, you know, God is using our president. You know, he uses frail people, you know, fallible people to do miracle things. And I'm trying to bring our nation back to righteousness and justice. Like I said, the problem with our nation, we're not being just. Righteousness need to be established, and people need to be judged correctly, and laws need to be followed, executed, and people need to be punished. You know, and like I said, you had 30 years to get your immigration status straight, and you didn't do that because people wasn't there was no justice. That wasn't just. They had periods where you could have got in there, and you were lazy enough to not to take care of yourself. That's why you're being arrested and taken out. Yeah, we're gonna cry and everything like that, but you got soft. No, I'm not crying for that. I'm crying for our nation. I tell you that. We really need to toughen up. Our nation needs to toughen up. And quit letting these. It's more of us than them. It's more of us than them. I tell you. But I tell you, my brother. We just keep on praying forward, man. This can happen. Kicking it. We're gonna drag them in, kicking and screaming. They're gonna be kicking and screaming, all the way. But we're dragging them in to the truth. We're dragging them into to the way the country need to be run, our nation. We're not going backwards no more, man. I tell you, I'm tired of eating dung that these people will go ahead and try to feed us. No, I'm not going for that fried ice cream. No, I'm going to go ahead and continue to push forward. Push forward, pray for our president, pray for his staff, pray for our nation, pray for these leaders, so-called leaders, the wannabe leaders, these traitors that are out there trying to tear down our country. Hakeem Jeffries and Maxine Waters and the like, all these people who are just taking advantage of the authorities and putting the fist on the nation, on our people, all good people, righteous people. Anyway, brother, I'm just kind of mad. I've been raving, today, man. But like I said, I'm seeing the things going on, man. But I just love the Black History thing that the president did. That was awesome. My wife and I was wondering whether you were there or not. Were you there?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, well, we were thinking that you might have been there and everything like that. You could have been there. I know that's right. But praise God, brother. You know what? I love you. And I appreciate you, man. You just keep on pushing forward, man. We're going to get through this here. Our nation is going to get through with this. We're going to see the president, like I said, the years ahead, it's going to be better for our country. We just got to get past all this other rhetoric that they keep on trying to throw up. Like I said, it's just all smoke screen thrown at us, man. We need to stay focused and not be distracted.
Right on.
That's all they are. Is noise. That's all they're doing is noise. I love you, my brother. You just take care. Have a blessed day. Blessed tomorrow. Okay, you rest.
Will do. Thank you for your call. Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, shout out to the call. A great call. Let's go to 504 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's happening?
All right, shout out to you, the callers. Excellent calls. So, start off by saying I was debating one of my liberal friends and over in Australia about Trump, and kind of figuring out what the problem was with Trump exactly when we were talking about some different policies he made. And yeah, with Australia, which is our partner, they, not the people themselves, but the politicians, they did some, back in early 2000s, there was some beef trade where we had to get a lot of beef from their country, and there was different things they import into our country, like what has to do with like sheet metal, etc. So it's not just them specifically, but it's global, all over, that he wants the fair trade for the United States, and he wants our country not be taken advantage of. So I'll explain the point of this. His intentions were so American people, American jobs could come back here. It wasn't about them specifically, and hopefully at some point it could blow over. But then again, for them, they could stop voting for politicians that are trying to do unfair stuff to our country.
Oh, absolutely. That's a very important thing, because people in power have the mindset to do things that are harmful. They can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, but the thing is, the liberal media, all of these different outlets, they're telling them other things why it's happening, but when you look at the fine print why he did it, it makes sense. Because for many, decades and decades, I feel the people in power in our country, the politicians, were not really having our own country in mind, or the workers. They had, their own people, their lobbyists, like say they're being funded by people, they're of their own personal agendas, and that this more about making personal people and companies wealthier over making the American people wealthy is a problem. For instance, inflation, has gone up, unimaginably high over, decades and decades. Nothing recently, because we know with the the thing in 2020 when they give out all the checks, etc., it made a exceptional inflation happen. But even before that, yeah, they just kept on selling our country out. So now it's good to take it back and then going back into the direction of making our country much more stable and better for its own people. And over time, the rest of the world can do well with themselves. But the main focus is our own country. So I'm glad that this administration is putting this country first and not corporations or whatever else.
I agree 100%. Things actually help the people, everyday people just working, living their lives. That's going to be the most important thing. Corporations are going to do what they're going to do regardless, but we have to maintain the people. That's going to be the primary focus.
Yeah, and I think that people that come from other countries that come here, they must, and I tell people this all the time because, I'm all over YouTube, so I'm around all kinds of different people everywhere. So I'm in different chat rooms debating people, just like as you debate people on the show. And I tell everybody, as you and the callers are saying, that people that come to America must go with how our culture and customs are and not try to enforce it on our country, where they came from.
Right. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. And the people that want to come in illegally through the border, it's really just hard to believe that they did these things because they'll make these sanctuary cities where they completely, again, selling out the people that are living there for people that are from all these different places that were trying to even do criminal activity, crimes, etc., and take advantage in plundering the country. Because remember, these other places, they see how great our country is. It's like, say, a wealthy mansion with a bunch of food, etc., in it, and they're trying to go and take it all for themselves. Now, I believe that people could come here legally and naturally, and they love America, they want to be American, that's what our country's all about. But them trying to take it over and plunder it like the pirates and stuff did, that is where we have to draw the line in the sand and say no.
Well, absolutely. I agree.
And over time in our history, the Americans were fighting for independence and fighting for different freedoms, etc. And then over time, the founding fathers were concerned about what direction we go into, and some of their fears about the political games that people would play did happen. Now, they absolutely didn't work because people did wake up, especially with social media, etc., to go and combat this. And they have to continue, everyone has to continue to spread the word, spread the truth about what's going on, and collectively, America will stay and continue to be great. So I do have, the good news is, yes, eventually over time, in my opinion, it's going to get back to being the greatest it could ever be. But at the same time, there's been people along the way that are not completely with the program that we eventually get in line. And I believe the elites are getting more and more exposed every day. Eventually, they're going to have their downfall.
Yeah, I believe so, because with the way information is now, you have social media and AI is here, and it's stronger and smarter every day. With that being the case, it'd be very hard to hide. It's information everywhere, and we'll be smarter since AI is coming.
Yeah, and that's why with tech, it's going to take over making apps. You can make artwork. It's probably going to take different you could say jobs, and I suppose things like that. Over time, it will at least be used in jobs. I'm not too sure exactly what it's going to do, but it will certainly be a tool that will be used similar to like the computer was used. But there's all kinds of theories about what it will do as the decades go on exactly now. And I really appreciate Trump very much, where he is exposing, files, etc. about I'm interested in aliens, and I like how he's going to release things about aliens. And he released all kinds of different files, and he's exposing all these elites. Because in my opinion, not getting too much into it, I think it's all connected to secret societies and stuff that we talk about. And now they couldn't take Trump out. He's still here, and they're just going to have to watch as AI and the internet all exposes their dark deeds. And from my friends and I are talking about if there was these treason trials in the future about all these people that mess with our country, that would break the internet. That would be really interesting to see when and if that happens.
Oh, that'd be a tremendous. Yeah, it'd be too much for the internet to handle, in my humble opinion. It'd be something to see.
Yeah, so I'm glad that people are waking up, and over time, this decade's roll will continue to expose this. And and I'm glad that, we were certainly seeing it first before other ones were seeing it. And also, ABL, thank you for taking my call, and shout out to chat, and that's all to say.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right. Shout out to Alien Spaceship for the call, and that will be a wrap for me. Man, this day, it went by so I feel like I just sat down to do this show, and it's already over with. Time is weird. Oh, and speaking about time, we have daylight saving time coming up when? Not tomorrow, but when is daylight saving time? That's going to be March 8th. Okay, so in just 2 weeks. Okay, we're going to spring forward 1 hour. Hey, that hour, the older I get, the harder that hour is to lose. Now, gaining the hour is I'm lit. That's beautiful. Losing the hour, hey man, somebody gotta pay for this crime upon humanity that they, because anyway, March 8th, in 2 weeks, your clocks go forward 1 hour. All right, so be warned. You're already seeing the days getting longer. It'll be getting a lot longer coming 2 weeks. All right. And we have some really interesting weather here too. It's like 65 degrees, 70 degrees. I'm seeing a couple little weeds in my yard. I'm like, we can't have that happen. But I think it's going to kind of get cool for a while. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. This is also an audio streaming podcast. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether they be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. If you want to find it, just go right in the description or visit your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And y'all know I'm live each and every Wednesday and Saturday on the YouTubes. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm live on Instagram on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. till about whenever. Shout out to you guys there for the Instagram stream. I post the Instagram stream on YouTube on Fridays. So if you are not able to get on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, you can catch it a little bit later on the YouTubes for 100% free. All right. Now, that'd be all I got. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for being here. Thank you for watching, retweeting, super chatting. Whatever you do, I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. I got more super chats here. I'm going to read these right quick. Then I wrap it on up and put the bow clean on top. Oh, one more thing. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Why not? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You might be viewing from a different platform or something. It's okay. Just go ahead. You got a YouTube account. Hit the subscribe button. Click the bell. Do all that stuff. And I'd appreciate it. Okay, let's go. Lawfare, again, who says, reading through the Epstein files, even though it's not concrete evidence. Hey, bro, I don't got to say it. You said it yourself. But anyway, I'm going to just read your super chat, bro. I'm going to start from the top. Reading through the Epstein files, even though it's not concrete evidence, it seems like every president since 1989 has been compromised and has serious accusations against him. Ted Bundy stuff. Well, I mean, accusations are accusations, man. Like, I don't really like talking about accusations because anybody can say anything about anybody. And especially since there's been so much political disharmony in the country among some people, they are motivated to put out misinformation about someone. They're motivated to put out false claims about someone. We saw what happened with who was that? That was Brett Kavanaugh with Christine Blasey Ford. Completely a fabricated story. And if not for the fact he was such a Boy Scout and everybody loved him, including the women, they knew that he wouldn't do nothing like that. If not for that and them testifying on his behalf on camera, then he might have been totally out of luck with that accusation against him. You see, in today's day and age, it is beneficial sometimes to launch a false allegation against someone. You can get fame, fortune, all of what you want. Even if you don't get anything by it, you still have the hatred in your heart. So you want to go and throw a false claim out there. See how that works? So I understand where you're coming from, reading the files. There's some crazy things in there, but I mean, you got to have proof. And this is part of the reason why they didn't want to release much of the files, because they knew people would just see certain things and draw conclusions that may not really be there. Let me tell y'all something. there will be nothing that happens from the Epstein files. Nothing. Because if there was anything that actually went wrong, if there was anybody that actually did anything, they would have ought to been prosecuted. And if they're not prosecuted now, they're not going to be. Do you think that somebody could just look through the Epstein files and find something that the federales don't know about? And you're going to bring it to them and say, hey, convict somebody on that. Good luck with that. Now, the thing about Prince Andrew, the reason why they did that is because they got caught. And it was a big public outcry. So they had to do something. Okay, let's put out a statement. Let's say he's banned or whatever. Although I'm sure Prince Andrew still got a big bag of money at the end of the day, so he's not going to be totally out of luck. But it's just a PR issue that they're having to deal with. It's not actual punishment. Okay, is he really going to go to the penitentiary? I doubt it. And if he does, it's going to be club fed at best. Prince Andrew ain't going to, no place with a bunch of Afghanistan people. Man, come on, like it ain't gonna happen. Anyway, let's go to J-Man, who says, "Oh, you gave me a membership. Thank you for that. I appreciate the membership gift to someone. Shout out to whoever got the membership for free. Thank you to Lothair, who says, if you ever bump into any of the girls from The View, ask them about beef jerky and cheese pizza. Please remind them every day." Okay, thank you to J-Man for gifting another ABL membership. Thank you to Bob K. MIT, who says, are you going to stream the State of the Union address? Yes, thank you for the question. I almost forgot to say that. So I will stream the State of the Union address. It's going to be on Tuesday. So Tuesday, what's that? The 24th? Yes, Tuesday the 24th of February. So this Tuesday, the State of the Union address will be live, and I will be streaming it. I'm not quite sure what time it's going to be. I presume like 8 or 9 o'clock Eastern, but I will know more closer to the day. Maybe I'll be able to find it after I go off the stream to see the exact time. But what I'll do, I'll post the thumbnail and whatnot like a couple hours before. Give you plenty of time to get acclimated, do what you got to do. But I will stream the State of the Union address on Tuesday. And I'll probably do my Instagram stream on that Monday. So my Monday Instagram stream, Tuesday State of the Union, and then Wednesday regular show as normal. Okay? Just to be on the same page. Okay, thank you to Bob K, MIT again for that. And thank you to Lothair, who says, I do not trust any president, including Trump, after reading that stuff. Includes Obama, every president is 1989. Okay, Spencer says, North Minneapolis in the building. All right, shout out to you out there in Minneapolis. Hey, hopefully everything is good and you're not out there dealing with the Rachel Nicole Good, no pun intended, or the Alex Pretty types much anymore because they didn't scale down ICE operations in the city. So hopefully things are going back to a state of somewhat normal. All right. But that will pretty much be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the best. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out and peace.